High school football game of the week. It is the final week of the regular season, week number 10. And tonight we've got a good one for you in Division 2 as the Benedictine Bengals take on the Nordonia Knights. I'm Dave DiNatale here high atop the press box, and going to have a lot of fun with this one tonight. Benedictine comes in at 6-1 on the season, and Nordonia at 7-2. Now, if you're saying, okay, it's week 10, you should have played 9 games, what's the problem? Nordonia, in their case, they've played the requisite 9 games here leading into the start of the season. For the Bengals, though, they've only played 7 games. They had a game 2 weeks ago when we had 7 weeks of beautiful weather in this season. But 2 weeks ago, Benedictine's game, they were playing Cathedral Prep out of Erie. And because of the storms and the severe weather, that game ended up getting canceled. They didn't postpone it. They just went ahead and canceled it. So that ended up being a no game on the record. And what sometimes will happen, and especially when you're talking about schools that aren't in conferences, parochial schools, trying to get that 10-game season scheduled, and you can't always get somebody in there, and it ends up being an open date on their schedule, and that's what happened with the Bengals. So that's why they've only played 7 games heading into tonight, and not 9 games. Did that off week play a factor in them losing last week against the Knights of Archbishop Hoban? I don't know. You can maybe make the case of that, but that's the one thing that Benedictine, I think, looking ahead to tonight, and certainly as we get into the postseason, we'll be watching how focused are they. They feel like at some point they were ready to kind of take the mantle of the best team in Division II in Northeast Ohio, but I think the Knights pretty much settled that question last week for the moment. Now, we'll see what happens when we get into playoff time, and could certainly have a rematch. And when you're talking about Division II Region 5, these Nordonia Knights feel like they deserve to be in that conversation of the best team. Benedictine is number 1, by the way, coming in. Nordonia number 3. We'll talk more about computer points and that here as we continue throughout the night here. But these are 2 of the best teams in terms of Division II Region 5 in the area. And let's get you now for the national anthem. We'll be right back here for more of the game. Here's the anthem. The Nordonia High School Marching Band providing the national anthem here at Bolliant Stadium, here in the home of the Nordonia Knights, right here tucked in this beautiful area here of with Nordonia. You're talking right when you come down 82 and you get off of 271, you get a sign that says entering Macedonia, but you're kind of in that Macedonia, Sagamore Hills, and obviously Northfield, and that's the Nordonia, Northfield, and Macedonia. But you're in that kind of that triangle area, and it's a great part of Summit County. And hey, listen, the Knights, we've talked about a lot of teams in Division II Region 5 this year. And we've tried to get Nordonia on a couple of times, and now finally here in Week 10, we are here and getting our first look this year at the Knights. As we said real quick, and then we'll get to a little bit more about this game, despite the loss last week to Archbishop Hoban, Benedictine comes into tonight #1 in Division II Region 5. Remember, the playoffs are expanded this year. Everybody's going to be hosting. But, so both the Knights, both the Nordonia Knights and the Benedictine Bengals know they're in. I mean, they're in and they're hosting. But Benedictine is #1 and Nordonia is #3. Hoban is #2, and Hoban, remember, has got to play St. Edward tonight. So that's going to be very interesting in that respect. Hudson, Walsh Jesuit, Willoughby South round out the top 6. It's a pretty good group of teams there in this region. Nordonia, their 2 losses this year, a 28-20 loss at North Royalton. And the Serpentini Stadium is a tough place to win. That's become a good home field advantage for No Row this year. And then 2 weeks ago, the Knights lost to Stowe 27-13. And the problem with that loss, they had 2 pick sixes that the Bulldogs took back for touchdowns. And, there's your difference in the game. But, for the most part this year, the Knights have been a very clean football team when it comes to avoiding, the FIPS, as we call them, fumbles, interceptions, penalties, and that's one thing that's turned them around this year. Another thing that's turned around the Knights this year, they played much better defense. We were here about this time last year for Stowe versus Nordonia, and the 2 teams combined for 100 points. Stowe ended up winning that game. It was like one of the wildest games we had for you last year, 53-47. But when we were here last year, the Knights at that point, and I think it was the next to last week of the regular season, whatever week it was, Nordonia at that point was allowing nearly 40 points per game, 39.9. Coming into tonight, the Knights are allowing 19.4 points per game. Marked difference this year, and that's gone a long way into why they have had a really good season here for head coach Jeff Fox. The Bengals, as we said, 6-1 with the lone loss last week against Archbishop Hoban. And the problem for the Bengals last week, they couldn't run the ball and they couldn't stop the run. Against the Knights, Benedictine ran 26 times for just 36 yards. They held Dwayne Jackson did the Knights of Archbishop Hoban to 26 yards on 13 carries. And it was a tough condition. The last 2 weeks have been tough conditions in terms of playing football because of the wet weather, storms, delays, and such. But tonight, no rain, clear field. Certainly not like last night when we were all going through tornado warnings. And this was kind of the epicenter of one of the storm systems around Northeast Ohio, as I'm sure Betsy Kling and Matt Wintz talked about earlier on 3 News. There was Stark County, but Summit County, you look at the Streetsboro, Twinsburg, Hudson, or this Nordonia area, there was severe weather here too, no doubt about it. Nordonia will kick off to start the game, so we're going to see one of the best kickers in all of Northeast Ohio. Probably, you put him right up there with Nathaniel Vakos of Avon, Andrew Lastovka. He will kick it off, and I believe that is Terrell Greer back deep to receive for the Bengals. Final week of the 2021 regular season. Lots of computer points on the line in this one. Lastovka's kick, high, deep, into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback at the 20-yard line. And pretty much like Vakos, when we were there 2 weeks ago at Finney Stadium and watched Avon play Berea Mid-Park, the majority of Lastovka's kicks are going to be touchbacks. Powerful leg. All right, so we'll get our first look here at C.J. Yarborough and the Bengals. Now, we say it's our first look of the night. We, of course, saw the same Benedictine Bengals in Week 1 in that classic double overtime game against Walsh Jesuit. The Bengals ended up winning it 35-34 in double OT. Walsh Jesuit has lost 2 games heading into tonight, both at 35-34. One to the Bengals and one to Archbishop Hoban. All right, a little bit of a delay there. Now the official's ready to go. Yarbrough will have a back to each side of him. Now he stands in motion left, and he'll give to Jackson on first down. Crosses the 20, 25. Jackson out to the 30, to the 35, and out to the 39-yard line. Boy, he got 19 on that pickup. That's pretty much what he had all of last week against Hoban. Brian Russ made the tackle for the Knights. They're going to mark it at the 38. So that's a gain of 18 for Dwayne Jackson and a first down. Jackson will be the deep man as Yarbrough will go under center now. And he'll send Kareem Jennings, the tight end, in motion. On the draw, here comes Jackson. This time, Nordonia does a better job of knocking him down. They'll put him down at about the 42. Corey Parker makes the tackle for the Knights. Mark it at the 42. It'll be a second down and about 6. Marvin Conkle, Terrell Greer, and Brandon Boyd are the wide receivers. They will use both Darrell Bedingfield and Kareem Jennings at tight end. Jennings is in there right now. As the senior quarterback, C.J. Yarbrough, ready to go now. Second down and 6. Bengals have it at their own 42. And they'll fake to Jackson. They'll swing out left on the bubble screen. Pass caught at the 50, out to the 45. It's Marvin Conkle, and that's a first down for the Bengals in Nordonia territory. Israel Petit on the tackle for the Knights, but that's a first down on the quick bubble screen from Yarbrough to Conkle, his 20th catch of the year. Yarbrough's thrown for just under 1,300 yards. Now he's over 1,300 yards on that completion. 14 touchdowns, just 2 picks in 7 games. Ball at the Knight 45-yard line, 1st and 10 Benedictine. 10:29 to go, first quarter. Jennings in motion from the left hash. Jackson with the carry in a big hole. He's to the 30. He's off to the races. They won't catch him. Touchdown, Bengals. Dwayne Jackson on a 45-yard sprint takes it in for his 8th touchdown of the season, and the Bengals strike first, 6-0. I think Dwayne Jackson was a man possessed after getting stopped last week in check by Archbishop Hoban. He was featured early and often on that drive and took it in from 45 yards out. Christian Cora for the extra point. 10:19 to play in the opening quarter. The Bengals will look to go on top 7-0. That kick is blocked. Kick is blocked. It will stay a 6-0 Bengal lead. Pretty good surge that time by the Knights to get in there and block that extra point. But an 80-yard touchdown drive for Benedictine, and a bunch of it coming on the legs of Dwayne Jackson. Really set the tone on that drive with an 18-yard run on first down, had a 4-yard run later, and then a 45-yard scamper for the touchdown. And give his offensive line credit. Iliano, Underwood, McDonald, Morse, and James. That was a huge gaping hole right up the middle, and Jackson, once he got to the second level, they had no chance to bring him down. So Nordonia will look to strike back as they'll get their first opportunity with the football tonight. Get our look at Mark Wilson, and really an offense that, while it has the look of an air raid, you know, they've got a bunch of good wide receivers, they also have 2 or 3 young men who can run the football well. As Cora's kick, it's going to be returnable, fielded on the run at about the 9-yard line. Bringing it out is Matt Hayes. Hayes got a step. He was able to cross the 30 and took it out to the 34-yard line. Ryan Konechny made the tackle on special teams. It'll be 1st and 10. Senior quarterback Mark Wilson, in 9 games, he has thrown for just over 2,000 yards, 2,090 yards, 16 touchdowns. He's been intercepted 6 times. He has run for a touchdown this year as well. Zach Zender at running back. Dom Perrine, John Henderson, Matt Hayes, and Cooper Rusk will be the starting wide receivers. But we'll see a lot of Brian Russ running the football tonight as well. Maybe see a little bit of Eric Smith. So good start for the Knights off the return from the 35. Little middle screen coming, and it's going to be incomplete. trying to get it to Zach Zender as the heavy pressure was coming in and it was a little bit too high and incomplete. And if you've watched our shows and listened to our shows, Tyler Carey and I have talked all year about Darrell Bedingfield as he came in on the pressure. As they'll go now on second down, here's Zender, and he'll get near the 40-yard line, running off tackle left side. And Darius Siggers, the defensive end, makes the stop. It'll be a 3rd down and 6. Bedingfield, who is a commit to the University of Toledo, as we see all kinds of movement on the defensive line, and I think we're going to have an offsides here on Benedictine. And really, Wilson hadn't had a hard cadence. I think just the Bengals were jumpy, literally, to try to get in there. 5-yard penalty will move it out now to the Knights 44, and it'll be 3rd and 1. So we'll see here if Jeff Fox goes to something a little different here. He's got Matt Hayes flanked out wide right. 4 wide receivers in total. Hayes is over there with Perrine. Henderson and Rusk wide left. As Jarrett Good for Benedictine gets his defense set up now. 3rd and 1 for the Knights from the 44. On the ground, it will be a 1st down at the 50 to the 45. Zender to the 40-yard line of Benedictine and a 1st down. Zach Zender going behind Chase Rydell and Lucas Kraus, the left tackle and left guard. Able to get some daylight and gets a 1st down. Nice piece of running for Zender. And Nordonia trying to answer the Bengal touchdown with a one of their own here. 9:28 to go, first quarter. Bengals 6, Knights nothing. But Nordonia on the march as they'll go to the pistol now. Zender standing behind quarterback Mark Wilson. In a bunch formation right, 1 receiver left. Fake to Zender. Wilson rolling, throws, and incomplete as he threw it too high for Cooper Rusk. And there was pressure coming in for Benedictine. And Dwayne Jackson actually was the one who was coming in and providing some heat on Wilson. Made him throw it, I think, a smidge earlier than he wanted to. And again, the Bengals are a little bit jumpy from that defensive end spot. Offsides, move it up 5, and instead of 2nd and 10, it's 2nd and 5 now at the Bengal 35. That time, defensive end Kareem Jennings was a little antsy. 2nd and 5. Wilson has Zender to his left with 4 wide receivers. Now we'll pull off and get the signal from the sideline. Play clock down to 10. These 2 separate coaches are sending in the plays. I see more teams do that now. It's a committee thing here. They'll go to Zender on 2nd down, and this time the Knights do a good job of corralling him at the 33-yard line, a gain of 2, so it'll be a 3rd down and 3. Marvin Conkle came up from his safety spot to make the stop. 3rd and 3 for the Knights. And again, it's a give to Zender. And again, Benedictine's ready. And they will bring him down probably for a loss. They backpedal him all the way to the 39, but they may mark this at the 36. It's a loss of 3. You know, and there were 4 or 5 guys. Joe McDonald will get credit for the tackle, but really there were a whole host of white jerseys back there to make the stop. So Jeff Fox will go for it. Too close to punt, too far for a field goal. 4th down and 6 at the Benedictine 36 for Nordonia. Off the shotgun, Perrine will go in motion right to left. To throw, Wilson rolling right, in trouble, down he goes. At the 45-yard line, McDonald came in again and had some help from Kareem Jennings, but give that credit to Joe McDonald, the 6'1", 300-pound senior. And it'll be a turnover on downs. The Bengals will take over at their own 44-yard line. Boy, 2 back-to-back big plays by defensive tackle Joe McDonald. Gets a TFL and then a sack to thwart the Nordonia drive. 7:41 to go, opening quarter, 6-0 Bengals. Brandon Boyd will go out wide to the left. Bengals will set up almost like a bunch with a triangle on the right. Now the Knights showing blitz on first down. Yarbrough looks to throw. Time. Shoots one deep and overthrew his intended receiver at the 20-yard line. Was looking for Greer, who was open, and Yarbrough just missed him. Yeah. Greer had a step on cornerback Tucker Rusk, and yeah, Yarbrough had what would have been a 56-yard touchdown. Just overthrew him. 2nd down and 10. The Bengals now will have Jennings over on a wing, 2 receivers right, and Jackson will shift to the left of Yarbrough. Now Jennings in motion left. 2nd and 10, Bengals. As they'll go on a jet sweep, running to his left at the 50 to the 45. That's Marvin Conkle, and out of bounds at about the 44 of the Knights. That'll be enough for a Bengal first down. Yeah, it's technically, and you heard David Stark, the PA announcer, say that's technically a pass. It was almost like a little shovel instead of a handoff on the jet sweep. So Yarbrough will get credited for a completion there, but that's a first down. It had the look of a jet sweep, but it's technically a pitch forward pass. Jackson now will stand behind Yarbrough in a pistol look. 2 receivers right. Jennings on the wing, now in motion. He'll head to the right. 1st and 10. Fake to Jackson, and the throw will come. It is Conkle to 40, to the 35, to the 30. Still on his feet. Boy, they can't bring him down, and finally do inside the 25-yard line. Conkle getting big yardage on that bubble screen, and finally Israel Petit able to make the tackle, and they're going to mark this right at the Knights' 25. These wide receivers and Jackson have been able to get to the open field early here tonight against the Knights. Yarbrough will go under center. Jackson, the lone man in the backfield. 1st and 10 as Jennings will shift in motion left. Yarbrough gives. Jackson hemmed in, boxed in, and brought down for a loss. All the way back to the 30. They'll mark it at about the 28-yard line. Logan Villamagna will get credited for the tackle. There were 2 other green jerseys in there as well. Villamagna having a nice year. That's his 13th tackle for loss this year. 5'11", 175-pound junior. Good linebacking group for the Knights with Kieran Bell, Jared Zender, and Jeremy Olsko. And Zach Zender gets some playing time as well, as does Eric Smith at linebacker. Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Yarbrough starts left, throws back right, and he had his man open, and Conklin couldn't pull it in at the 20-yard line. They had the perfect matchup as they had Conklin matched up against Villamagna, so you had the linebacker against the receiver, but Villamagna was in the sight line a little bit of Conkle, and that affected his ability to bring in the ball. But a nicely conceived call there for Jarrett Good and Benedictine, just not able to execute it. And it's 3rd and 13 with 6:31 to go in this first quarter. 6-0 Bengals. And they're inside the Nordonia 30 at the Knights 28, but with a 3rd and long. Bengals will go trips left, 1 receiver right. Jackson behind Yarbrough in a pistol look. And before they can run a play, we've got whistles and a timeout, Bengals. First timeout for either squad here in this first half. As we approach the midway portion of quarter number 1 in this 6-0 Benedictine game. WKYC's high school football game of the week is being presented by Chick-fil-A, home of the original chicken sandwich. We have enjoyed immensely our partnership with Chick-fil-A here in our first year working with them. And even though the regular season's over and for playoff games, we are going to be deciding where we're going. We won't, unfortunately, be able to leave that up to you because we have to make the decision quicker than Wednesday. We're still going to have at WKYC.com a place for you to go, and we'll have a fun vote for you every week. And when you vote, you have an opportunity to win prizes from Chick-fil-A. So even though the regular season's over, the fun from Chick-fil-A is not over. So we'll let you know. We'll probably figure out Monday where we're going to go, and then we will still have a announcement show on Wednesday and a Week 1 high school football preview at WKYC.com and on our social media platforms. 3rd and 13 Bengals out of that timeout at the Nordonia 28. Same look with 3 receivers, including Marvin Conkle on the left side. Now Jackson will shift to the right of Yarborough, who looks to throw, being blitzed, dumps it out. Jackson with the catch, breaks a tackle, makes another spin move, and gets close to the first down at the 15-yard line. You know, Nordonia had that covered right, but they just could not bring down Jackson in the open field. Jared Zender on the tackle, but that's a first down for the Bengals as they will mark it at the Knights 14. But there were 2 or 3 occasions there where it looked like they were going to be able to get Jackson, either push him out of bounds or make the stop, and he just elusive. From the 14, Jennings in motion left. Again, Bengals go with 3 wide receivers. They'll give to Jackson. Ooh, he makes 2 nice cuts. Moves to the right at the 10, 5, and he is in for a beautiful touchdown run. Oh, as good of a touchdown run as we have seen all year. Dwayne Jackson hemmed in as he was running left, made a terrific cut to the right, and he has his second touchdown of this first quarter. 12-0 Bengals. And for Dwayne Jackson, that is now 9 touchdowns on the season. And actually, it's for Dwayne, it's actually now 11 total touchdowns. He's got 9 rushing touchdowns, and he has also caught 2 scores this year. Cora for the extra point. His first attempt was blocked after the first Jackson touchdown. Low snap. It is fielded, and Cora's kick is good. Pretty good job by C.J. Yarborough, the quarterback, the holder there on that play to get that ball down there. And the Bengals now with a 13-0 lead with 5:54 to go in this opening quarter. Now the problem right now for Nordonia, they just have no answers for Dwayne Jackson. And that's Dwayne Jackson as a runner or as a back out of the backfield catching passes. But Jackson already with a 45-yard touchdown run and a 13-yard touchdown run. The Knights on their first offensive possession got as deep as the 35 of the Bengals, but that drive ended up stalling, and they turned it over on downs thanks in large part to Joe McDonald, the defensive tackle who made a TFL and a sack on consecutive plays. But, I mean, you get the feeling right now, if this is going to be a shootout, then the Knights better score on this drive. As Cora will kick off, Hayes and Henderson back deep to receive. And this is going to be Hayes at the 3. He'll go all the way across the field, back at the 10, needs a block, stops, goes to the outside at the 15, and goes out of bounds at that particular point. And again, Ryan Konechny on special teams making the tackle. Konechny's had a good year as a linebacker. He has 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, one of which he has taken back for a touchdown. Both he and Bedingfield have pick sixes this year for the Bengals. Antonio Patterson, their cornerback, has 3 interceptions this year. As now the Knights will take over, and they've got a long field to go here. They'll start at the left hash at their own 15, down 13-0 with 5:44 to play in this first quarter. All kinds of movement here. 3 separate receivers shifting left. Here's a pitch out left, and I believe that's Russ on the carry to the 20, and he'll cross the 25 and get a first down to the 26. First time we called Brian Russ's number tonight, the senior, who's the leading rusher this year for the Knights, picks up 11, close to 12. Russ averaging 5.5 yards per carry, 535 yards this year, and 8 touchdowns. He stands to the left of Wilson. Blitz coming for the Bengals. Wilson hit as he throws, but Russ Smith the catch at the 35 and puts his head down to the 39-yard line and gets another Knight first down. Great job by quarterback Mark Wilson to stand tall as the pressure was coming and delivered the football right as he was taking the hit. Might have been Iliano who's coming in on that hit. But great job by Wilson. First down. On the ground, here comes Russ. Has room, 45 to the 50. And should have another first down as he'll be spun down in Bengal territory. We'll see where they mark this. It's right at midfield, so it should be a first down. And that's the officials concur, first down. Well, so three, back-to-back terrific plays for the Knights. Couple of nice runs from Russ and a pass to Cooper Rusk. And Knights with a first down. Here comes a blitz, and the pass is caught by Brian Russ, but he's immediately wrestled down after only a 1-yard gain. As again, the Knights were really having to get off that play quickly because the Bengals were rushing 3 or 4 in a row into that backfield. 1 yard on that gain on the pass to Russ, 2nd and 9. Brian will step out, and Zach Zender back in at running back. Again, you see 3 separate receivers moving to the right. Here comes Zender. Kind of a student body right. He'll take it out to the 46-yard line. Got about 3 before Kareem Jennings and Antonio Patterson brought him down. 3 yards on that gain, and it will be a very big 3rd down and 6 for Nordonia at the right hash. Knights with 3 receivers on the left side, and on our near side is Matt Hayes. Blitz coming. Middle screen, pass is caught. Zender got a block, first down to the 40, to the 35, and down to the 33-yard line. Bedingfield was coming in on the blitz, but a good job by Mark Wilson to recognize the blitz and get it out to his safety valve. I think Dwayne Jackson was coming in there as well, but able to get that ball out there, and timeout coming here. It's a first down for the Knights at the 33-yard line. And the Bengals just used their 2nd timeout of this first half already. We still have 3:44 to go in the opening quarter. Well, and I think probably for Jarrett Good, he and his defensive staff are gonna say, hey, look, if we're gonna blitz, we've got to have somebody on the running back, because otherwise they'll burn us there all night long. And we saw this in week 1. I mean, the Bengals are relentless when it comes to putting pressure on a quarterback. With Bedingfield especially, but not just Bedingfield, Jennings, Konechny, doesn't really matter. They want to get in your face and disrupt things. So it becomes incumbent on you as an offense, if they're gonna go a blitz in your face, then yeah, you got to set up a middle screen and do it quickly. Knights have done that not well on this drive. First down, Nordonia out of the timeout at the Benedictine 33-yard line, out of a pistol set, and fake to Zender, and the pass on a bootleg is incomplete. The second time they've tried that tonight, bringing Wilson out on the bootleg right, trying to throw to Cooper Rusk, and both times Wilson's misfired on it. 2nd and 10. Now, part of the reason, because you're doing that bootleg action, Wilson is getting hurried when he's throwing it. Shotgun now for the Knights. As Wilson throws left, pass is caught. I believe that is Craig Aiken on the far side. It is, and the junior receiver with his 8th catch of the year, mark it now at the 27-yard line. Craig's dad sitting to my right here in the press box, just kind of nodding away. Yeah. Good catch from Craig there. And it will be now a 3rd down, and we'll call it 3. Aiken in motion. Give to him. Actually, it's Zender. Now they want to do Perrine for a pass to the end zone. Incomplete as he was looking for Matt Hayes. And it was double coverage. I thought that was actually Aiken in motion. It was Perrine. And Dom has thrown a few passes this year, and they thought they could sneak Matt Hayes into the end zone, but pretty well covered by the Bengals, and it sets up another 4th and short situation for the Knights. This is 4th and 3 at the 26 of the Bengals. Nordonia already trailing 13-0. They have really got to get this first down. Rusk in motion, right to left. Wilson with time. Flag down. Wilson throws. Pass incomplete. It was broken up at the last second. It was intended for Matt Hayes. I think that was Quincy Johnson who broke it up. But let's check on that flag over on the far side. Probably, and I would imagine it's a motion penalty. It's going to be declined in a first down going the other way for the Bengals. So for the second time in this first quarter, a promising Nordonia drive stalls in Benedictine territory on downs. And the Bengals will start now just over their own 25-yard line with 3:18 to go this first quarter. As Yarbrough is ready to go, and he'll shift Dwayne Jackson to his left. And Jackson will get the ball on first down running right. And a good tackle from the end spot. Corey Parker came over to make the play, and we've got an injured player down for the Bengals. Yeah, Corey Parker did a good job of just kind of grabbing Dwayne Jackson and grabbing his legs from behind and bringing him down. So injury timeout will stop things now with 3:05 to go in this opening quarter. If you're just joining us, Bengals are out to a 13-0 lead on 2 Dwayne Jackson touchdown runs, one from 45 yards out and one from 13 yards out. Nordonia's been able to move the football in response against Benedictine, but both of their drives, including the one just moments ago, have been stopped by the Bengals via the turnover on downs. I'm trying to look over on the far side. I don't know if that was Jackson who was the injured player. We think it was. Okay. So we'll likely obviously see somebody else in there, at least for the moment, at running back. But Jackson has been incredibly effective here in the early going. Looks like Javion Baker is now in there at running back. Jackson got 2 on that first down pickup, second down and 8. Clock back in motion. We're under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Yarbrough looking left for Boyd, and he overshot him at the 40-yard line. Boyd was locked up with John Henderson. And it will set up a third down and 8. Yeah, no penalty or anything like that. It was just good. 2 players are just kind of locked up there, and it'll be a third down and 8. That'll be a fun matchup to watch tonight. Henderson has 3 interceptions on the year, and Boyd has been the top receiver for the Bengals. So far, we've seen a lot of Marvin Conkle. Third down and 8 for the Bengals. Yarbrough to throw. Pass is caught at the 31 and then immediately pushed back as Henderson, with some help, able to, as it was the Patterson who made that catch, but short of the first down. Somebody else was back there with Henderson. I didn't miss that. I missed who it was, but a good job for the Knights as they're able to force the 3 and out, and Christian Cora will come in to punt the football. And back, it's Devin Tufts in single safety at his 35-yard line. As Cora will get it away. Boy, Knights might have gotten a hand on that kick as it kind of fluttered, and it took a Benedictine bounce, and it will be fielded at the Knights' 46-yard line. Somebody for Nordonia got in there quickly. Villa Magna, I think, was one in there and almost looked like they had gotten a finger on that football. It kind of fluttered a little bit, but it was able to get into Nordonia territory. So, but the Knights, down 13-0, will take over at their own 46 with just over 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. They had to really get a stop there. Cannot afford to fall behind. Much worse than 13-0 in a game that just feels like it's going to be a shootout here. All right, Wilson to go, ready to go here with 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side on first down. He looks to throw, and pass is caught, short gain, as Tufts made the catch at about the 49-yard line. Only about a gain of 2, actually, to the 48. So it'll be a 2nd down and 8. Michael Hatcher was over there on the coverage. And it is a 2nd down now and 8. Russ in the backfield with Wilson, who wants to throw. Again, blitz in his face, pass is caught. Russ breaks a tackle and takes it to the Bengal 44, maybe the 43. And where they're marking it, it should be enough for a 1st down. James Phillips, the middle linebacker, on the tackle. But again, Bengals coming in, blitz right into the face of Mark Wilson, and Wilson just finding his running backs. Again, that's how you beat the blitz. Hayes will go out wide to the right, 2 receivers left. Russ will stand behind Wilson as they'll go to the pistol, and Russ will get the carry. Runs right, got a block inside the 40, spins at the 35, down to the 34. Boy, Brian Russ didn't want to come down. Finally does, and got about 9 on that 1st down carry. As they will credit Hatcher on the tackle for the Bengals. So we are under a minute and a half to play here in the 1st quarter. 13-0 Benedictine, but Nordonia again for the 3rd time tonight have driven into Bengal territory. Trips left, 1 receiver right. Wilson to throw. Time over the middle. Pass caught at the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and in for the touchdown is Cooper Rusk. 34 yards on the hookup from Mark Wilson to Cooper Rusk. And the Knights are on the board. It's 13-6. Well, and the key to that play, as much as anything, the offensive line for the Knights gave Mark Wilson a little extra time there. He wasn't getting blitzed or anything, and just had a moment to kind of catch his breath and wait for Cooper Rusk to make his cut on a post. And Rusk really, he ran from the left hash all the way to basically the right pylon for that touchdown. Here's the extra point as Lastovka puts it up and through. 1:08 to play, 1st quarter. 13-7 Benedictine. For Mark Wilson, that is his 17th touchdown pass of the season. For Cooper Rusk, his 7th touchdown catch. But it all really started, I think, in many ways by the Knights defense, able to get that 3 and out and force the punt. Just kind of for the defense to get a little momentum and say, yeah, we can stop these guys. And then, the offense kind of rewards that. A couple of nice plays from Brian Russ and sets up the Wilson to Rusk with the K touchdown completion. That's a good response for the Knights. Question's going to be, it'll be interesting to see if Dwayne Jackson is back in there at running back. He had gotten shaken up on that last drive. Lastovka will kick it off, and Brandon Boyd back deep to receive. It's not a whole lot of wind, at least at this point, so I would imagine Lastovka should be able to get to the end zone here, and he will. Touchback coming up. About 3 or 4 yards deep into the end zone, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bengals at the 20. 13-7, Benedictine on top. In our WKYC High School Football Game of the Week. Final week of the regular season. I always just laugh. These high school football seasons are amazing. They're just too short. They just go by so fast. But it also sets up the playoffs, and we're certainly excited about that. By the way, Dwayne Jackson not in there right now. Baker, at least I don't believe he is. Baker is in the backfield with Yarborough with 3 wide receivers. And And they will shift a receiver out right. Here comes Baker on the carry to the 20, to the 25, and a pretty good open field tackle by Henderson at the 29-yard line. But for Javion Baker, that is a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd down and 1. And we are under a minute to play here in this opening quarter. As Jennings returns. I believe that's Conkle getting a breather here. 2nd down and 1. Yarborough will go under center. Jennings will shift to the right. Baker, the deep man in the backfield. He'll get the carry, and he is going to get brought down for a loss. Jared Zender leading the charge of the Knights defense to about the 27, a loss of 2. That is a terrific play by the inside linebacker, Zender, to knife into the backfield. And it sets up a 3rd down and 3. And the Bengals are just going to let this first quarter clock run down and talk about it here. And we'll flip fields and have 3rd and 3 coming from the north end of the end zone. So after 1 quarter of play at Bolliant Stadium, it's Benedictine 13 and Nordonia 7. A couple of Dwayne Jackson touchdown runs for the Bengals and a Wilson to Rusk touchdown pass for the Knights. Take a look at the scores here in just a couple of moments. Keep you updated with what else is happening around Northeast Ohio. You know, this is a game tonight with these two teams, no conference titles on the line. And as I said earlier at the opening, both these teams are going to be playoff teams and likely hosting next week. So really tonight's game is just, it's almost like a playoff preview, really, if you think about it, a potential regional matchup in a couple of weeks with a lot of computer points on the line. So we have our first quarter. Now, I love when we get stats, too. Far as total offense so far, pretty even. Bengals 147, the Knights 124. Benedictine with Dwayne Jackson, 6 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yarborough 5 of 8 for 60 yards. We'll look at more stats in a second. 3rd and 3 for Benedictine. Jennings in motion right to left. Fake handoff. They'll throw left side, and it's incomplete, trying to get it to Conkle. And that time well defended by Israel Petit. Just didn't allow Conkle to have any kind of separation there on that swing pass left. So for the 2nd consecutive drive, the Bengals are going to have to go 3 and out and punt it away. Nordonia on offense in the first quarter. Zender ran 6 times for 35 yards. Russ twice for 23. Wilson 6 of 10 for 65 yards and a touchdown. Cora to punt it away. And we'll shift to the right and get it away. Fair catch called for and made at his own 40 by John Henderson. Knights will start at their own 40. We check the scoreboard from one Mr. Tyler Carey. St. Edward and Hoban are knotted up at 7 in the first quarter. Hudson and Stowe tied at 7 as they move to the second quarter. Walsh Jesuit leading St. Vincent St. Mary 14-7. That's in the first quarter. Riverside on top of Willoughby South 3-0 in the first. Bedford leading Maple Heights 7-6. That's in the first quarter. Barberton and Talmadge tied at 7. That's in the first. Elyria Catholic shutting out Valley Forge 14-0 in the second quarter. We'll get more scores here coming up. As the Knights will start from their own 40-yard line, trailing 13-7 here early in the second quarter. As they'll start from the pistol. Wilson sets out a little dump-off pass to the right. It's caught. It probably should have been dropped by Matt Hayes because that's going to be a loss. That's going to be a loss of about 7 because of that blitz. And again, you know, your quarterback, you know, Wilson's got to get rid of it. They'll mark it at the 34. So it's a pass completion for a loss of 6. But that's how fast this Bengal defense is. 2nd and 16 now. Wilson with time. Shoots one over the middle. Pass broken up and incomplete at the 50-yard line. Antonio Patterson breaking up that pass that was intended for Devin Tufts. Bay is leading Lakewood 7-0 in the second quarter. Berea Mid-Park in a pivotal SWC game leading Olmsted Falls 14-12. That's in the second quarter. And we've got a stoppage in play. And the Bengals just used their final timeout of the first half before this 3rd and long. 3rd and 16. Wow. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them later in this quarter. Strongsville has taken a 7-3 lead over Brunswick. That's in the second quarter, one of the games we asked you to vote on this week. The other one, Rocky River and Buckeye playing for the Great Lakes Championship. As they've kind of, in week 10, they do a little bit like a round robin, and they figure out kind of the pairings, and they put the top 2 teams together for the championship. And the Cavaliers at home tonight in their home opener at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. They lead the Charlotte Hornets 30-27 in the second quarter. "33-yard line for the Knights, 3rd down and 16. That's one of the, I'm sure Jarrett Good having to burn a timeout on a 3rd and 16. Now, of course, you don't want to have a breakdown where you give up a big play, but on a 3rd and long, you're going to have to burn a timeout, your last one on that. You don't want to do that. Wilson to throw on 3rd and long, in trouble. He's going to get sacked again and again. It's Joe McDonald at the middle of it. And there were a couple of his teammates there to help finish off the play. That sack will move it back to the 25-yard line. They lost 15 yards on that particular sequence. And quickly now, Listowka will come into punt. And I believe that's Boyd in single safety at the 36. Listowka with a good high kick, fair catch, called for and made by Boyd at the 31-yard line. So 2 teams exchanging 3 and outs, and the Bengals will start right about at their own 30-yard line. 13-7, Bengals on top with 10:35 to play in the first half. Benedictine 6-1 coming into tonight's game. As we mentioned, they had one game, just an open date on their schedule, and they had one game that was canceled, not postponed, unfortunately for them, canceled because of the inclement weather 2 weeks ago. They were playing Cathedral Prep out of Erie, and that game ended up getting canceled. By the way, Rocky River and Buckeye in that GLC championship game, scoreless now in the second quarter. From the 30, 1st and 10, Yarbrough ready to go. As he looks to throw, fires one deep, has a man there, and it's incomplete as he overshot Terrell Greer. Greer had a moment where it looked like he had a bit of separation. So I think he had Tucker Rusk guarding him, and that throw just kind of ended up giving Rusk the ability to kind of keep up with Greer, and it was an overthrow. Good sign, though, for the Bengals. Dwayne Jackson is back there at running back after missing the last possession or so. He was shaken up late in that first quarter. He's in there now. He's got both of the Bengal touchdowns in this football game. Jennings will shift in motion to the right. Here's Jackson on 2nd and 10. Crosses the 30 out to the 33-yard line, and he'll be put down at that particular point. Corey Parker's had a good first half for the Knights. He makes that tackle, and it sets up a 3rd down and 7. Yeah, Parker for the Knights and McDonald for Benedictine. A couple of defensive tackles who have really stood out here in this first half. Bengals will go to the pistol now on 3rd down and 7 as Jackson will stand behind Yarbrough. 3 receivers left. They've got one to the right. Fake to Jackson. Yarbrough to throw with pressure. Fires, and that pass is going to be intercepted at the 45-yard line. John Henderson's got it on a rolling interception. That late pressure affected that throw, and Henderson's got his 4th interception of the season. Nordonia will take over now in Benedictine territory at the 45. That's only C.J. Yarbrough's 3rd interception of the year. Again, just some late pressure, and Henderson being in the right spot there to make a rolling catch on that pick. Now the Knights will go to work. Brian Russ will check in now, and they will go 5 wide. Empty backfield. Wilson looking, fires over the middle. In heavy traffic, pass caught at the 25-yard line by Matt Hayes. He was upended, somehow held onto the football as he had two Bengals defending him, and it's a first down and a gain of 20. Heck of a catch by Matt Hayes. Now out of the pistol, Rusk in motion. Give to Brian Russ. Hemmed in initially, he's able to fall forward and get some positive yards to about the 24. Kareem Jennings makes the stop. Second down and 9. Russ now will stand to the left of Wilson. 4 wide here for the Knights. At the Benedictine 24, Wilson looks right, throws right, pass caught at the 21 and down to the 18-yard line. I thought that's Rusk on the far side. It was. Cooper Rusk brought down by Michael Hatcher, but it sets up a third down and about 3. And about 5 on that play. Quickly to the line now. Wilson ready to go. 3rd and 3. Sets up a pass to Russ at the 20. Boy, Benedictine was ready that time as they had pressure in the face of Wilson, but they had a hat on Russ. And Antonio Patterson, the cornerback, came up to make the stop for a loss back to the 21-yard line. That's going to bring up a 4th down, and Jeff Fox is going to send Andrew Lastovka out for a field goal attempt. Lastovka on the year 9 out of 10 for field goal attempts. Wilson will put it down at the 28, so this is a 38-yard attempt. Snap and hold are good. Kick up, has the distance, but it goes wide left. And part of the reason it went wide left is Mike Hatcher got in there and provided some pressure and kind of rushed Lastovka, I think, a little bit there to get that kick away. So field goal no good. And Benedictine will take over at their own 20 with 7:59 to play here in the first half. Yeah, I mean, when you play against this Bengal defense, I mean, everything is pressure. They just do not let you get a lot of time to make decisions, and that includes in your kicking game. You love the aggressiveness. Yarborough will shift Jackson to his right, 1st and 10. Yarborough throws left, pass caught. Over at the 28 to the 30, and finally down at the 31 is Boyd. It's a great effort by Brandon Boyd. When it looked like he was going to be brought down back at about the 25, just kind of gritty effort to get an 11-yard gain and a first down. John Henderson finally was able to bring him down. Boyd, as we mentioned, came into tonight as the Bengals' leading receiver. 28 catches for 577 yards and 6 touchdowns. And that's in 7 games, I might add. So it's a 1st and 10 for Benedictine at their own 31. Bengals 13, Knights 7. Jennings shifts in motion left, then fell down. The give to Jackson swinging right to the 35 and brought down at the 40-yard line. That's a pretty good one-on-one tackle by Israel Petit, the sophomore safety. He had to make that tackle, and Jackson might have had his 3rd touchdown. Instead, he gets about 9 on that pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Jackson in the first quarter ran 6 times for 80 yards, including a 45-yard touchdown. He also has a 13-yard touchdown in this game after really being shut down last week against Hoban. Jennings will move in motion. Knights blitzing, they give to Jackson. He's able to kind of find a crack and dive ahead for the first down to the 45-yard line. Knights had the right idea to try to kind of almost like a run blitz there to get into the backfield, but Jackson picked the right hole and got a first down. So the Bengals will keep the chains moving. Remember, though, Benedictine, no timeouts remaining in this first half. But they've got a 6-point lead. Yarborough will have Jackson on his hip pocket to the left. He pumps once. CJ looks to throw. Deep left. Nobody home. Incomplete. looking down the sidelines for Conkle, but he really was not open there. I think Henderson was providing the coverage over there and really never gave Conkle any room there. 2nd down and 10. Took Conkle a long time to get back into formation coming off of that, basically a go route there. Now he's back in there and play clock under 10. They fake to Jackson. Yarbrough will roll right, setting up, looking deep. And it's intercepted at the 35-yard line to the 40. To the 45, it's Brian Russ, and he'll be brought down at the 46. C.J. Yarbrough was directing Terrell Greer to go deep, and I just don't think Greer saw Yarbrough kind of motioning at him to go long there, and he ended up throwing the ball in a spot where there was nobody there except for Brian Russ, who gets his 3rd interception of the season, and that is the 2nd pick already thrown tonight by C.J. Yarbrough. And Nordonia will start at their own 46. So Henderson and Russ both with interceptions tonight for Nordonia. Zender in the backfield next to Wilson as they shift 3 men to the left. 1st and 10 now from the left hash at the 46. Pitch to Zender, goes across the 45 to the 46, basically back to the line of scrimmage. Jennings and Phillips converge on the tackle after a 1-yard gain. Brings up a 2nd and 9 as the clock continues to move. We are under 5:40 to play. And just as I say that, the officials stop things here for a moment. Now they'll wind the clock here. 2nd and 9. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Here's Wilson to throw. Middle screen, Zender at the 50 to the 45 and down to the 44. Very close toward Nordonia 1st down. When I'm calling it a middle screen, because basically Bedingfield and Jennings are generally the 2 guys that come right into the face of Mark Wilson, and he's got 1 spot to throw, basically in that spot that's vacated by the blitzers. And it's generally a running back. It's either been Russ or it's been Zender, and they got 9 on that play. Zender on 3rd and 1 gets the 1st down across the 40 and down to the Bengal 38-yard line. Zach Zender, the junior running back, with the 1st down. James Phillips on the stop, but it's another 1st down for the Knights. Zender stands behind Wilson on the pistol, and he'll get the carry again, and the Bengals will meet him right at the line of scrimmage as flags fly all over the place, and Zach Zender put down for a loss. Anthony Iliano amongst those who got in there to make the hit. Let's check on the flag. Personal foul, face mask, Bengals. So that will march the football inside the 30 to the Benedictine 26-yard line. And back to a 1st and 10. Cooper Rusk in motion left, the give to Zender running left. He's to the inside the 25, down to the 21, pushes the pile forward, and finally taken down at the 19. Yeah, Zach Zender refused to go down, and it took Hatcher, Jennings, and Patterson to finally stop him. And Zender will get a breather, and Brian Russ will check back in at running back. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Here's Wilson to throw, looking, rolling left, in trouble. He'll tuck, he'll run, and take it out of bounds. But that's going to essentially, I think, be, it started at the 19. It'll be about a 2-yard loss. And they're going to mark it at the 21. Reese was the one who took him out of bounds. He'll probably get credited for a sack there. That will be now a 3rd down and 5 after that loss. Wilson ready now. Fake to Russ. He'll keep it. He'll run it inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line, and a first down for the Knights. Mark Wilson came into this game with -6 yards rushing on the season. Of course, with sacks, but he's not the traditional type of read option running quarterback, but made a nice move there in the open field and gets a first down for the Knights. 3 receivers right. Wilson looking left, fires, pass caught right at the 6-yard line as Henderson makes that catch and immediately put down at that point. Going to be a gain of close to 8 on first down to John Henderson. As Greer made the tackle. So we approach 3 minutes to go here in this first half. 2nd and 2. Out of the pistol, Rusk in motion. The give is to Brian Russ, shifts left, goes for the first down, and he will take it in for the touchdown. Brian Russ made a couple of nice moves there to not only get the first down, but get himself a 6-yard touchdown run. And we are now tied at 13 with 3:10 to play in this first half, pending an Andrew Listowka extra point. Nordonia looks to take their first lead of this football game. High snap, it's pulled down. Listowka's kick is up, and it is good. And for the first time tonight, Nordonia has the lead, 14-13. With 3:10 to play in the first half. You know, at one point in this game, the Bengals led at 13-0, and Nordonia had a couple of offensive drives stall in Bengal territory, and they turned it over on downs. And you sat there and you said, boy, if Benedictine puts another score on the board and it becomes a 21 or 20-0 game, look out. But it's gone in the opposite direction. The Knights defensively have gotten a couple of interceptions, and on the offensive side, have put together a couple of nice scoring drives. And for the first time tonight, they've got the lead. And when Benedictine gets the ball back, bear in mind, they have no timeouts remaining for the remaining of the rest of this first half. As Listowka will kick it off to Brandon Boyd. It's the first time that Listowka has kicked it towards the north end here, so let's see. Not a whole lot of wind here, so I wouldn't imagine that's going to affect anything. Oh, they're going for an onside at the 50-yard line, and I think the Knights have it. Listowka recovered it. Right at the 50-yard line, Nordonia will maintain the possession of the football on the onside kick by Andrew Listowka. Just kind of snuck it in there, and nobody for Benedictine kind of knew where the football was, and Listowka just said, thank you very much, that's 10 yards, I'll take it. First down Nordonia at midfield. Gutsy call for Jeff Fox. You gotta love that. Sensing momentum, let's get the ball back and let's go. Knights at the 50, maintain possession, and let's see, as Brian Russ will stand behind Mark Wilson. Rusk with a K in motion. The give to Brian Russ at the 50, and he'll plunge ahead to the 46. Jennings will make the tackle with some help from Siggers. But that's a gain of 4 on first down for Brian Russ. Quickly, Mark Wilson has his team to the line now, 2nd down and 6. Wilson looks to throw. And again, try to pop it for a screen to Russ, but it's incomplete. As James Phillips had good coverage and Kareem Jennings was bearing down on Mark Wilson. But Jennings, the sophomore, he doesn't give you any time. He is such a weapon as a pass rusher. 6'4", 230 pounds. And we've called his number all first half, making plays. But I think his biggest strength is his ability to get in the quarterback's face. Knights now looking at a 3rd and 6 at the Benedictine 46. 2 receivers to each side for quarterback Mark Wilson. As he'll give to Brian Russ on 3rd and 6, and Russ will get a yard, and that's about it. McDonald and Lester combine on the stop. So it's going to be a 4th down. They mark it just inside the 45, so it's a 4th and long 4 here with 2:22 to go. And somebody just said here in the press box, I agree with them, after you just got an onside kick, you're not going to punt it here. You got the lead. They're going to go for it. Have to get to the 40 to maintain possession. Wilson looking, throws over the middle, pass caught, first down at the 30, to the 20. It's Rusk down to the 15-yard line. Mark Wilson to Cooper Rusk. They connect for a big gainer on 4th and 4. That is about 29 on that pickup. Knights go to the pistol. Zender, the carry, inside the 15, and he'll take it near the 10-yard line before Jennings can finally bring him down. And there's an injured Bengal down at the 10-yard line. So they will tend to, the Benedictine training staff will tend to the injured player. And that'll be a stoppage in play with 1:42 to go in the first half. Yeah, it's really been a tale of 2 quarters here. Although, I mean, to be fair, Nordonia scored their first touchdown right before the end of the quarter, but that first quarter really was dominated by Benedictine in terms of the way they were able to impose their will offensively on their first couple of drives. But Nordonia here in the second quarter has been able to kind of get some defensive plays. I think I just heard Cooper Rusk, that's a new school record for receptions in a season. He had a 45-yard touchdown earlier in this quarter, or in this game, and that 29-yarder sets them up now at the 11. And the injured player for the Bengals is Marvin Conkle. Doubles as both wide receiver and safety. And he's able to walk off under his own power, but walking very, very slowly. Oh, no. At the 11-yard line. I feel like we're at Cedar Point. From the 11, the give to Zender. Runs left inside the 10. He's inside the 5, and he is in. Touchdown, Zach Zender. And the gamble by Jeff Fox pays off with big dividends as they get the touchdown after the onside kick. 20-13 Knights. Well, there were 2 gambles, to be honest. The onside kick and then going for it at 4th and 4 from the Benedictine 44. You know, you have confidence in your team, and your team responds. You got to love that. Listopka for the extra point, and before he can get it off, there's a flag down on the far side. I think somebody for the Bengals might be lined up in the neutral zone. At least that was the indication I had. Yeah, offsides against Benedictine. Well, and because of that, Jeff Fox is going to send the offense back in, and they're going to try and go for 2 here. Because you move it now half the distance, and they'll try to make it a 9-point lead. They're already up 7. Wilson will flip to Russ, tries to run left, does so. Can he get in? No. He is stopped shy of the goal line. Just kind of was picking and weaving, trying to find a gap to get in, and I think that was McDonald who closed it down right near the goal line. So the 2-point conversion unsuccessful, and it'll stay a 20-13 Nordonia lead with 1:32 to play before halftime. But just to finish that thought, you know, you just get the touchdown to take your first lead, 14-13. Obviously, the coaches up here saw something that led them to believe that, hey, we try an onside kick, because everybody's assuming with Lastopka's leg, he's able to just pound one deep. So, okay, let's not worry about, let's just try an onside kick. You recover it, and then you get that fourth down conversion. And, you trust your team, and your team trusts you and results in a touchdown. You love to see that. This kick will sail left and bounce into the end zone for a touchback as Boyd will let it go. Lastopka with another touchback. And that's, again, why when he does the onside kick, why you're not expecting it, because he's got such a powerful leg. So the Bengals will take over now at their own 20. Plenty of time, 1:32 to go before halftime. The problem, though, for the Bengals, 0 timeouts. And I think at least 2 of them were on the defensive side. They used one timeout, actually, before a 3rd down and 16 when they were on defense. Yarborough ready. And looks left, throws left on a bubble screen, and the pass is caught, but immediately down to one knee and down at the 19-yard line for a loss of 1. I didn't see who that was. That may have been Patterson over there, but it's going to be a loss of 1, 2nd down and 11. Terrell Greer is out wide right. And we'll see. I don't see Conkle back in there right at the moment. We've got a timeout taken by the Knights with 1:01 to go. And you're thinking here is, if you're Jeff Fox, hey, listen, okay, it's 2nd down. They're actually called 2nd and 12, a 2-yard loss. Well, we can get a couple of stops here, force Cora to punt, and maybe have an opportunity, especially with Lastopka's leg, to maybe get something before halftime. Just kind of looking right now at the Bengals and see they've got Boyd over there wide left. And I think they've got now Quincy Johnson in there replacing Conkle as the other wide receiver. And then over here on my near side is Terrell Greer. And Javion Baker now in at running back. And that's going to be Baker getting the carry. Baker will run left to the 23, maybe to the 24. Brian Russ over there on the far side with some help from Logan Villamagna make the tackle. Jeff Fox calls another timeout. Nordonia will have 1 remaining with 53.8 seconds to go before halftime. And the Bengals will be looking at a 3rd and 7. So, to this point, pretty good clock management here by Nordonia. So this has been a game of swings here. The first 13 points of the night scored by Benedictine, and then 20 unanswered by the Knights. And maybe if there was a turning point, maybe it was when Dwayne Jackson was shaken up a little bit, and for a moment that kind of stopped their running game a little bit for Benedictine. It's been really all Nordonia here in the second quarter. Jennings will shift in motion on 3rd and 7. They'll give to Baker again. Drops the football, and I think Nordonia was able to pounce back on it at the 24-yard line. Jeff Fox will call the final timeout for Nordonia. Ran about 10 yards out on the field to call that timeout. And near disaster for Benedictine, but they'll maintain possession at the 24. And it will be 4th and 6. And Christian Cora will have to punt it to Devin Tufts. But depending on where this drive starts, I mean, again, Nordonia, they won't have any timeouts left, but, Lastopka's in warm-ups, they've seen him kick it over 50 yards this year. So if you come down to that, why not? Cora. Low snap, gets the kick away. Tufts will watch it bounce out of bounds right about at the Nordonia 47-yard line. We'll see where they mark this right about at that 47, maybe the 48-yard line. And the Knights will take over there with 38.8 seconds to go before halftime. Halftime, I'll let you enjoy the marching bands from the two schools. And then we will have first half stats and a look at the scoreboard from around Northeast Ohio. This final week of the regular season. Playoffs will be announced, I believe, officially by the OHSAA Sunday afternoon. That's normally been the protocol. And we'll let you know next week where we're going to be. I would be stunned if at some point we are not in Canton for a state championship game involving somebody from Northeast Ohio. Stunned. Wilson looks right, throws right on first down, pass caught. Cooper Rusk goes immediately out of bounds at the 47 of the Bengals. Takes about 3 seconds off the clock and gets about 5 or so on that pickup. Antonio Patterson was over on the coverage, 2nd and 5. Well, you can do that a couple of times, and that will really help the cause. Wilson again, steps up, in trouble. He's going to get sacked back at the 48-yard line. And again, the Knights can't stop the clock. They're going to get up there and spike it. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Yeah, and they'll clock it there. Now remember, that's 3rd down, so now it's going to be 4th. Now it's going to be 4th down with 18 seconds to go here at before halftime. 4th and 6 at the 48. But they didn't have a choice. I just don't think they would have been able to get a 3rd down playoff without having to. Well, and that's what I think. I don't know if Jeff Fox really was crazy about Mark Wilson spiking the ball there as they're kind of talking, but if you and they're going to go ahead and opt here, I think, for the punt. The problem is, maybe it was either that or the fact that Wilson didn't throw it away or get rid of it, and now actually they're going to move it back 5 yards here. But, you know, I understand the point of it. Look, we need time if we're going to set up a play, but the problem is it's 4th down, and the one thing they didn't want to do is give the ball back to the Bengals near midfield and give them an opportunity to maybe do something. Mostavka will punt it away. Boyd will backpedal at the 8-yard line, brings it out to the 10, to the 15, and down at the 17-yard line with 8.6 seconds to go before halftime. Israel Petit made that tackle on special teams. He's had a pretty good first half for the Knights. Told that I think Israel's mom is a bus driver, and apparently his name, and I you know, as somebody with the last name of Di Natale, I understand your name gets mispronounced quite a bit. You know, you look at the last name, people might think it's Pettit, like the pitcher, Andy Pettit. It's Petite. And I want to make, I've been struggling, I've been making sure, striving all night to make sure I get it right. Because Israel's family could be listening. I want to make sure we get it right. He's had a good first half, as have the Knights. After being down 13-0, they now lead at 20-13 here as Yarbrough looks like he's just going to go ahead and take a knee and head to the locker room with his team down 7. Yeah, it's a tale of 2 quarters here at Bolian Stadium. First quarter, advantage Benedictine. Second quarter, advantage Knights. And as we head to halftime, Nordonia 20, Benedictine 13. Benedictine getting the first 2 scores of the game on 2 touchdown runs from Dwayne Jackson, one from 45 yards and one from 13 yards. Nordonia finally got on the board on a 45-yard touchdown pass from Mark Wilson to Cooper Rusk, and a couple of scoring runs from Brian Russ and Zach Zender. And what do you know, after it looked like it was going to be Benedictine kind of in control of things, it's Nordonia heading to halftime with a 7-point lead. Bands are getting assembled and ready to entertain here at halftime. We'll let you enjoy that, and Be back with you for the first half scoreboard and the halftime scoreboard and the first half stats coming up here again at the half. And our WKYC.com high school football game of the week presented by Chick-fil-A. It is Nordonia 20 and Benedictine 13. Enjoy halftime, everyone.
Under the direction of Ms. Hannah Westfield, please welcome the Benedictine High School Marching Band. Our first song this evening was recorded by Panic at the Disco and released in August of 2018. In 2019, the song reached number 4 on the Top 100 Billboard Hot 100. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy High Hopes. The song was released in September of 2014 as the lead single from their 6th studio album, American Beauty. Please enjoy Centuries. title selection this evening was written in 1927. Please listen to the Benedictine High School fight song, Go Benedictine! Ladies and gentlemen, Benedictine High School marching band. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to senior night at Nordonia High School, as we recognize our 14 senior band members who will graduate in 2022. Our first senior is Margaret Brown. Margaret is escorted by her parents Jennifer and David and sister Tegan. Margaret has been in the wind ensemble for 1 year, syntonic chorale for 3 years, the marching band for 4 years. She plays center snare drum for the drum line. Margaret plans to attend Oberlin College, majoring in philosophy. Ladies and gentlemen, Margaret Brown. Our second senior is Kyle Brazil. Kyle is escorted by his parents Dale and Vicky and brother Brandon. He's a member of the marching band and the concert band, along with the wind ensemble and jazz band. Kyle was the Nordonia band's most improved male 2018-19 and the most outstanding male in the 2021 school year. Kyle plans on attending the University of Northwestern Ohio to pursue a degree in sports management. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Brazil. Our next senior is Victoria Fletcher. Victoria is escorted by her parents James and Jenny and brother Daniel. Victoria has a 4.3 GPA and has been a member of the Nordonia Marching Band for 4 years. She plans on attending Kent State University to pursue a career in the healthcare field. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria Fletcher. Our next senior is Emily Fogg. Emily is escorted by her parents Susan and Greg Fogg and brother Nathan. Emily has been on the high honor roll for all 4 years and a band member for 4 years. She plans to attend the Kent State University and study pre-veterinary medicine, and then transfer to the Ohio State University for veterinary medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, Emily Fogg. Our next senior is Gia Del PJ. Gia is escorted by her parents Rocco and Bundle and brothers Vinny and Dino. Gia has been a member of the band for 4 years. She's currently undecided on college. Ladies and gentlemen, Gia Del J. Our next senior is Madison Lewis. Madison is escorted by her parents Chuck and Katie Lewis, along with sisters Amber and brother Josh. She's been a member of the Color Guard for 4 years and is lettered in band. Madison plans to attend college and major in interior design. Ladies and gentlemen, Madison Lewis. Our next senior is Brian Matus. Brian is escorted by his mother Renee and grandparents Ron and Linda, along with his sister Nicole. Brian is undecided on college and would like to pursue a career in music production or forensic science. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Matus. Our next senior is Jake Peters. Jake is escorted by his parents Jack and Sarah and brother Casey. He's a member of the National Honor Society and has been in the Nordonia High School band all 4 years. For a highlight, in his senior year, he is a featured soloist. Jake will be attending the University of Cincinnati next fall, studying mechanical engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Peters. Nick Collins is escorted by his parents Paul and Julia and brother John. Nick has been consistently on the high honor roll at Nordonia and the honor roll at the Cuyahoga Valley Career Center. He has been a member of the band since 6th grade, was recognized as the most outstanding member of the jazz band his freshman and sophomore years. He plans on attending Ohio University or the University of Cincinnati to study cartography or film studies. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Paulus. Our next senior is Max Rosenblum. Max is escorted by his parents Matt and Stephanie and his younger brother Drew. Max plans to attend the Ohio State University next fall. His major is undecided at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, Max Rosenblum. Our next senior is Alex Stoneman. Alex is escorted by his parents, Scott and Deborah, and his sister, Emily. He has been on the high honor roll and honor roll throughout high school. He's a member of the Nordonia Marching Band, the Wind Ensemble. Plans to attend Kent State University and is deciding between business and engineering majors. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Stoneman. Our next senior is Andrew Thompson. Andrew is escorted by his parents, Kiki and Andy, along with his sister, Haley, and his brother. Andrew plans to pursue a career in the medical field as a paramedic firefighter and will attend Akron University. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Thompson. And our final senior this evening is Emily Swiggin. Emily is escorted by her mother, Marlene Hathaway, and father, Bill Swiggin, and grandma, Marion Hathaway. Emily has been a member of the Merit Roll for 3 years and has been a member of the marching band for 4 and the concert band in 2 and the wind ensemble the last 1 year. Although undecided on a college, Emily has received multiple offers from colleges to major in media studies and hopes to become a sports broadcaster for Cleveland baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, Emily Swiggin. We congratulate these seniors for their dedication and commitment to the Nordonia Band program. Your leadership and hard work certainly served as an example for your fellow band members. Each of you has been an example of what can be accomplished by way of a total team effort. To your parents, thank you for your support of the Nordonia Band program and for being there for your sons and daughters. Your patience, understanding, and sacrifices made over the years have truly been appreciated. Your Nordonia Band family wishes each of these seniors the best of luck in the future. Congratulations once again. And now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and listen to the Nordonia Marching Band as they present a portion of their award-winning competition show, Night Lights. Good luck tomorrow evening as they perform at the 42nd Annual OMEA Marching Band Field Competition hosted at the Woody Hayes Stadium in New Philadelphia, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nordonia High School Marching Band.
Hope you enjoyed the Nordonia Knights and the Benedictine Bengal marching band, especially, boy, Nordonia busting out the LED lights there. I hope you were able to kind of see that. That was mighty impressive. Just kind of filling this out here. Welcome back inside the booth, everyone. I'm Dave DiNatale. It is the WKYC High School Football Game of the Week at the half. Nordonia on top of Benedictine by a score of, got to turn that crowd mic down, by a score of 20-13. And as we said, it really was a kind of tale of two quarters, really. The first quarter, score-wise and everything else, Benedictine had jumped out to a 13-point lead and really looked like they were going to seize command of this game. And Nordonia was able to kind of stem the tide, get their defense, I think, playing better, and then finally kind of get the offense to finish drives and get touchdowns. And really, with a difference in this game, it might be after an onside kick. The Knights, when it was 14-13, Knights were able to punch it in and get a touchdown by Zender before halftime to increase their lead to 20-13. As far as your first half numbers here, total offense, 226 for the Knights, 178 for Benedictine. Benedictine held to just 69 yards passing in the first half, 131 for the Knights. Big difference also in this football game. Those FIPs I talked about, it's old Dave DeLugas term, the former head coach at Avon Lake. Fumbles, interceptions, penalties. The Nordonia has gone +2 on the takeaways tonight with interceptions off of Benedictine quarterback C.J. Yarbrough. And the penalties have also really hurt Benedictine tonight as well, 4 of them for 27 yards. And we'll get you the score update here in a second. We're going to have to do the halftime tweet here. Comes back and gets you every time. And of course, so those are really kind of the big numbers. Individually, though, let's check the numbers. Mark Wilson for Nordonia, 14 of 21 passing, 131 yards, and a touchdown. Cooper Rusk has 5 catches for 85 yards, including that 45-yard touchdown. And by virtue, actually, it's a 34-yard touchdown, I'm sorry. By virtue of his 5 catches, Rusk is now the single-season receptions leader. The record, I think, was 69. He's at 72 after his performance in the first half, so congratulations to Rusk. We'll check the scoreboard here as Tyler Carey has given me some scores here to check out around Northeast Ohio. As I'll tell you, it's a tale of two teams. Nordonia rushed onto the field to get ready here for the second half, and it took Benedictine a little bit longer to kind of get themselves situated here. All right, according to Mr. Tyler Carey at halftime, St. Edward leading Hoban 14-10. Hudson and Stowe knotted up at 14. That game is now in the third quarter. Walsh Jesuit leading St. Vincent St. Mary 21-7. That game's at halftime. Riverside and Willoughby South still in a low-scoring battle. Riverside leading that one 3-0 at the half. More scores coming up. Nordonia deferred to start the game, so they will get the football here in the second half. Chorus kick will sail to the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Devin Tufts catches it a couple yards into the end zone. So 1st and 10 Knights at the 20-yard line. Bedford leading Maple Heights in the second quarter 30-6. Barberton and Tallmadge, that's kind of a surprise, tied at 14 at the half. Leary Catholic leading Valley Forge 35-7 at the half. I'm not surprised the Panthers are winning, but really blowing out the Patriots tonight. Bay leading Lakewood 14-7. That's in the third quarter. Olmsted falls after a back-and-forth game. They now lead Berea Mid-Park 42-21 at the half. That's very similar to what happened to the Titans a couple weeks ago against Avon. Got a couple more here for you in a second. Knights ready to go 1st and 10 at their own 20 as we begin the second half. Wilson, little bubble screen. Henderson's got it. Clotheslined, it looked like, near the 20-yard line and put down back at the 19 for a loss of 1. And that was Kareem Jennings and Mike Hatcher. That was a high, you may have heard somebody say it was a high tackle, but apparently not a penalty tackle, and it'll be second down and about 11. Rusk will go in motion right to left, and they'll give the ball. As here comes Brian Rusk to the 25. Flag goes down as Rusk is wrestled out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Terrell Greer and Mike Hatcher combined to take him out of bounds. A flag came over, I thought from the far side, and then I saw one from the near side as well at about the 22. In that area where you would expect holding, and that indeed is going to be the call. Only the second penalty against the Knights this evening. In the Great Lakes Conference Championship game, Rocky River has a 7-6 lead over Buckeye in the third quarter. Strongsville at the half trails Brunswick 24-14. And the Cavaliers lead the Hornets in the third quarter 76-72. That holding penalty will take the ball back to about the 12. So it's going to be a second down and 18. 10 yards from the spot. We are ready to go here now. Shotgun for Wilson. He looks to throw. Back at his own 5, steps up, throws. Pass caught. Rusk at the 25 to the 30 and to the 35 for a first down before Antonio Patterson can finally bring him down. And Boyd was over there as well. But a terrific job by Mark Wilson to kind of sidestep right to buy himself some time. And he found Cooper Rusk. Rusk always seems to know the spot to be in. And Wilson always seems to know where to find him. Great chemistry. Wilson to throw. This time he's not going to get away. Jennings will bring him down for a sack back at the 30-yard line. Deshaun Laster was over there as well, but give Kareem Jennings credit for yet another sack. He is only a sophomore, 6'4", 230 pounds. He's going to get bigger and he's going to get better, and that's scary. Wilson on second and long will hand. Here's Russ. Bounces outside 35. He's to the 40. To the 45 for a first down. And finally, Terrell Greer will put him out of bounds at the 50-yard line. But that's a first down run for Brian Russ on a second and long. Marvin Conkle, by the way, not out there defensively at the safety spot. Quincy Johnson has kind of taken over as the other safety next to Brandon Boyd. Ball now at midfield for Nordonia. They've got a 20-13 lead early in this third quarter. Moving along the lines. Russ gets the carry. Again, bounces outside. Spins. Able to get something out of nothing as he takes it ahead into Benedictine territory. And finally put down at the 47-yard line. A lot of effort for 3 yards, but it was a pretty effort. James Phillips, the middle linebacker, on the stop. That was a terrific effort. 2nd down, 7. Shotgun here for Mark Wilson, and he'll keep it and plunge ahead to the 45, maybe the 44-yard line. Anthony Iliano, the junior defensive tackle, brings him down just inside the 45. Iliano, he's listed at 6'3", 280, but just from up here, he looks a lot more like about 6'5". You put him and McDonald on the same defensive line, you're in trouble. And Wilson's in trouble. He's going to get sacked again. This time, James Phillips got him. And that time, Mark was waiting, and I think he just lost sight of where James Phillips was. And Phillips gets his first sack of the season to thwart the Nordonia drive. And Lastovka will have to punt it to Brandon Boyd. That's a big couple of plays, though, by that defense. Good snap. Lastovka will get the kick away. High kick. Boyd will call for the fair catch and make it at his own 14-yard line. Yeah, just when it looked like Nordonia was going to try to seize control of this game on a drive, James Phillips kind of slams the door with that sack, and now we'll see the Bengals for the first time on offense here in the second half. They'll start at their own 15-yard line with 8:34 to play in the third quarter. Knights 20, Bengals 13. All right, C.J. Yarborough has them set to go. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. They'll operate out of the pistol as Jackson will shift to Yarborough's left. C.J. looks to throw. A wide receiver screen at the 15, out to the 20. And that's Antonio Patterson out to the 25-yard line. And that should, I think it'd be a little bit shy. No, they're going to say, no, go ahead. They kind of bumped the chain and said, go ahead and move it. It's a first down. So Patterson getting some time at wide receiver now with Conkle out of action. So Patterson and Boyd will go out wide left. That's Terrell Greer wide right. And the Bengals now with the first down as Jennings will shift right to left in the backfield. Give the ball Jackson. Got a good block from Jennings to the 30 and dives ahead to the 34-yard line and gets 9 on first down. That's a fine block, though, more or less like a fullback when you have Jennings out there lead blocking for you. Israel Petit made the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 1. Let's see if the Bengals try. They've tried to go deep a couple times tonight and just haven't been able to pull that off. Let's see if they give it another whirl here. Jennings in motion left, and it'll be Jackson running left, and he will get the first down as he'll take it out to his own 38-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play. Logan Villamagna makes the tackle, and it's a first down. This is how the Bengals executed well in the first quarter. They just basically fed Dwayne Jackson. But there was a sequence in that first quarter where Jackson was shaken up and went out of the game. And it wasn't that Javian Baker did a bad job replacing him. It just kind of seemed like it stopped that momentum. Jackson will get the carry again with room, 45, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, first down, across the 50 and down to the 49 of the Knights. That's just tough, determined running by Dwayne Jackson. Jackson in the first half had 9 carries for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns, so obviously well over the century mark now. And you know, he had a tough go last week in those conditions against the Knights, the rainy weather down there in Akron. He is running with a purpose here tonight. Fresh set of downs for the Bengals. On first down, we've got flags all over the place. I think he had a couple men in motion for the Bengals, back them up 5 and make it 1st and 15. Benedictine, that's their 5th penalty of the football game. 6:21 to go in the third quarter. Nordonia with a 20-13 lead in this battle of Division II Region 5 powers. Bengals at 6-1, they are 1st in the region. Knights at 7-2, they are 3rd in the region. Sandwiched in between, Archbishop Hoban. Jackson will shift into the hip pocket of Yarbrough to the right. Yarbrough looking to throw back left. He's in all kinds of trouble, but able to break free. He's to the 40, middle of the field, 35, and dives ahead to the 30-yard line. When it looked like he was going to be brought down for a loss, C.J. Yarbrough turned on the afterburners and got about 16 on that pickup all the way down to the 30. Actually, they marked it at the 40, from the 49 to the 30. That's about a 19-yard gain for C.J. Yarbrough. Just when it looked like, I think Nick Schaub was... from his end spot, was about to come in and get him. He just was able to break loose and find a seam. For the first time in a while now, the Bengal offense feels like they're starting to get into a little bit of a groove again. 1st and 10 at the Nordonia 30. Jennings in motion to the left. Fake to Jackson. Yarbrough pumping once. Now throwing long down the left side, and he overshoots his intended receiver at about the 10-yard line. Israel Petit was back on coverage, and whoever was the intended receiver for Benedictine is slow to get up and is actually in a seated position on the sidelines out of bounds on the Benedictine side of the field. So it won't be a stoppage in play. It was Kareem Jennings, the intended receiver, coming out from his tight end spot, and he... You know, from the way it looks, you're hoping it's just a cramp from over there, the way that it looked like they're maybe stretching out his leg, but I would think now Bedingfield will have to come in and replace him. Here's Yarbrough rolling right, throws, and it's incomplete as he was looking for Patterson at the 25-yard line. Craig Aiken was amongst those over there on the coverage. And Jennings is still down there flexing what looks like his right leg over down there on the field. 3rd and 10 now for the Bengals at the Nordonia 30-yard line with 5:07 to go here in the third quarter. I'll tell you, the first half, because of all the passing and stoppages, took a while. This third quarter has been quick. Yarbrough looks left, throws left, and the pass is caught. And down the right sideline and in for the touchdown are the Bengals. That was Brandon Boyd, who made not only a beautiful catch, but a beautiful tightrope walk down the left sideline for the touchdown. And Yarbrough absolutely threaded the needle, put it right where it needed to go. It was not just the fact that Boyd caught the ball in traffic, but was able to somehow stay in bounds down that left sideline. Beautiful pitch and catch by the Bengals. 30 yards for the touchdown. Cora's extra point for the tie is good. 20-20. We're all knotted up with exactly 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. C.J. Yarbrough with his 15th touchdown pass of the season, and Brandon Boyd with his 7th touchdown catch. In the meantime, though, Kareem Jennings remains laying down on the field, on the sideline, on the Benedictine side as they continue to work on his right leg. Not having him in on defense would be a huge loss. He has been all over the field tonight for the Bengals. But by the strength of their offense, Benedictine has come back to tie this football game at 20 as Cora will kick it off. John Henderson and Devin Tufts back deep to receive. This has been everything we'd hoped it would be between two of the top teams in Region 5 and a potential, who knows, the way this will all shape out. This could be a potential playoff preview in a few weeks for all we know. And if, you know, you sit there and say, okay, well, Benedictine would play Nordonia. Where would they play it? Maybe they'll play it over at Solon, maybe? Maybe at Mayfield, maybe at Aurora. These are two good football teams. Bit of a delay. The good news is, looking way over on the side now, Jennings is on his feet. And now he's hunched over a little bit. Now he's able to walk back towards the bench. He was all the way down. He was out of bounds on the sidelines at about the 10-yard line, you know, about 40 yards away from where the bench area is for Benedictine. This is going to be a returnable kick as Henderson bobbles it, but he's got it at the 4, runs to the 10, makes a nice move to the 15, to the 20, and pushed out of bounds near the 25-yard line. Good job by John Henderson after the initial bobble to take it out. We'll mark it near the 24, I believe, and a first down for Mark Wilson and the Knights. As we are all tied up at 20 apiece, they'll actually mark it at the 25. This will be interesting to see how the Bengals kind of position their defense. They've got Iliano right now playing at defensive end, where Jennings would normally be. On first down, the give is to Brian Russ, and he got maybe to the 25, back towards the line of scrimmage, and then Iliano led the charge to pull him back. Yeah, that defensive line with Iliano, Siggers, Laster, and McDonald, they have been terrific. They're actually, yeah, they've got Iliano at an end, and they've got Siggers now playing at tackle with Jennings out of there. Second down and a long 9. Russ again. This time he's got a cracked room to the 35, to the 40. Got a good block downfield by Henderson and goes out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Terrell Greer will pull him out of bounds there, but that's a first down pickup by Brian Russ. And again, John Henderson, credit him with good blocking downfield from his receiver spot. 4:08 to go in the third. Nordonia 20, Benedictine 20. Knights with it now at their own 44 after that pickup by Brian Russ. He's to the left of quarterback Mark Wilson. Wilson throws, try to bubble screen over on the right side to Dom Perrine, and it's incomplete. It's just as well Perrine dropped it because he had Quincy Johnson bearing down on him. 2nd and 10. So now it is 2nd down and 10 at the 44. Play clock is now at 14. Russ shifts to the left of Mark Wilson, 2 receivers to each side. Henderson and Rusk over here on the near side left. Play clock at 2, at 1. They just get it off. Here's a keeper, and a good shot by Wilson to the 50, and runs ahead near the first down marker, a little bit short at the Benedictine 47. You almost felt like that was going to be a busted play, but you know, Mark Wilson did a good job just kind of reading his blocks and got about 9 on that pickup. Gabriel Beltowski on the tackle. 3rd down and about a yard. Wilson gives, Russ bounces left, gets the first down, and is brought down just shy of the 40-yard line by Terrell Greer and also by Mike Hatcher. So move it ahead to the 41. There's a flag down, though, on the near side. So hold everything here. And officials are going to say we're going to pick up the flag. So no call, and it is a first down for the Knights now. And they're actually going to move the ball right to the 40-yard line of Benedictine. So it's a first down. Well, I haven't seen Terrell Bedingfield in since early in this game either. This has been a bruising game. That's one of the reasons why we're seeing Beltovsky in at linebacker. And before we can run a play, we got movement all over. And I think for the third time tonight, Nordonia has drawn Benedictine offsides. 1st and 5 at the 35. Yeah, again, that defensive line with Iliano and Siggers and McDonald are just antsy to get back in there and make a play. Rusk in motion on 1st and 5, and we've got more movement, but this one is going to be on the Knights. Back up to where we started, 1st and 10 at the 40. All right. And they wonder why coaches get gray hair. Just when it looks like you get a break, you give it right back. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. That's Henderson there. Lone man left. So the Knights will go to the pistol. Zender back in at running back. Fake to him. Wilson rolling right. Throws right, and it is incomplete. Was looking for Perrine at the 29-yard line. Pretty well covered there. Louis Terry was amongst those charging in on the backside of Mark Wilson. But I will say this, you don't have Bedingfield in there right now, and you don't have Jennings. And it's a little bit of a difference in terms of the speed of the blitz and the speed of the rush. 2nd and 10. Zender will get the carry. Again, running left. He's got room to the 35, 1st down to the 30. Still on his feet. Well, I thought Patterson might have gotten a hold of his face mask there. They'll mark him out at the 29-yard line, and that's a 1st down gain for Zach Zender. Antonio Patterson will get credited for the tackle. It just looked like he had gone a little high there to make said tackle. Ball at the left hash at the 28. Back to Zender, again running left. This time the Bengals will stop the play, and a good sign for Benedictine. Making that tackle, at least I believe, is Kareem Jennings. So he's back in the game. Needed a teammate's help to get up after making that tackle, but good to see him back in there for Benedictine. 2nd down and 9. So Zender only gets 1 on that particular play. As Cooper Rusk will move in motion left. Here's a pitch out left to Zender. He'll go to the 25 and then kind of squirts ahead to the 22-yard line. Nice piece of running there for Zender. Got about 5 on that pickup. But they really like to run behind Chase Rydell, the left tackle, and Lucas Kraus, the left guard. Why not? It's worked well most of the evening. Russ will return to the game at running back. They're actually going to mark Zender down at the 24. I actually thought he got a little bit further than that. So it's going to be a 3rd and 6. Knights will go with a pistol formation in a 20-all tie. 1:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Wilson gives Russ up the gut, and he's not going to get to the 18-yard line, which is where he needed to go for the 1st down. They'll mark him down at the 22. And that is going to bring up a 4th down, and that's going to bring Andrew Lastovka in for a field goal attempt. He missed an earlier attempt at about this range, partly due to the fact that the rush was coming in for the Bengals. Wilson will put it down at the 29, so this is a 39-yard attempt to put the Knights back on top. Ball down, kick up, on its way with the distance, and it again is no good, just a little bit to the left. Well, he's not, I mean, again, the distance is good, but you just see somebody from Benedictine is just in there and getting in, and I think just affecting the timing of the kick. So Lastovka tonight 0 for 2, and the Bengals will take over at the 20 with 33 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. All tied at 20. There's not a lot of wind. Looking over at where that flag is on the north end zone, there's not a lot of wind, but it just the pressure from that that defensive line on the special teams is really just causing havoc there. As Jackson will get the carry on first down. He's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 18. Good job by the Knights to bear in and make the stop. Corey Parker leading the charge, along with Logan Villamagna. It's probably going to be the final play of the third quarter. 3 quarters in the books at Bolliant Stadium. It is a good one between these two Division II Region 5 powers. At the end of 3, it's Nordonia 20 and Benedictine 20. Loss of 1 on that last run for Jackson, so it'll be 2nd and 11 back at the 19 when we begin the fourth quarter for the Bengals. If you're just joining us, good to have you. We appreciate everybody with us tonight. Dave DiNatale with you from Bolliant Stadium here at Nordonia High School. And we are all tied at 20 here. Benedictine led 13-0 in the first quarter, then 20 unanswered by Nordonia to take the lead before halftime. And then in the third quarter, Yarborough to Boyd for a touchdown to tie the game at 20, and that's where we stand. Nordonia at 7-2 on the year. They are third in Division II Region 5. Benedictine at 6-1. They are first in Division II Region 5. As we said, it's quite possible at somewhere along the line these two teams may see each other again in a few weeks. This time it would be, or that particular time it would be on a neutral site. I'll tell you, if that's the case, I'd sure like to be back for the rematch. This has been a lot of fun tonight here at Nordonia. As we begin the fourth, 2nd and 11 for Benedictine at their own 19. Here's C.J. Yarborough to throw. Time, looks left, throws, and it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Boyd at the 35-yard line. Petit and Olsko had good coverage. And it'll be a 3rd and 11. Yeah, just kind of trying to go outside along that, near the numbers on the right side, and Yarborough really had to try to thread a needle with both Petit and Olsko on the coverage. 3rd and 11. As Yarborough will go under center now, drops back, steps up, in trouble back at the 15. Here come the Knights. Yarborough will not get away. Sacked back at the 17-yard line. Good coverage downfield and enabled, amongst others, Parker. And who was the other one back there? I think Zender was in there as well. And also, Vinny Schiavone. Good team tackling there by the Knights to get pressure on Yarborough, and Christian Cora will have to punt standing at his own 7-yard line. And it'll be Devin Tufts in single safety at his 47. 20-20 tie here at Nordonia. Good snap for Cora. Kick is away. Tufts backpedaling to his 44. It's returnable. Ahead to the 50. Middle of the field 45 and down to the 44 of the Bengals. Some late pushing and shoving, but the Knights will start on a short field at the Benedictine 44. Scoreboard time as we proceed here in the fourth quarter. Actually, no, I got a text and it was not. Sorry, TC. I got a text. I thought it was from you. I was setting you up. I know you're coming with it. I can tell you some stats, though, through 3 quarters. Just got that handed to me. As Rusk will go in motion. Knights will operate from the pistol. Zender with the carry. Has room to the 40. He's to the 35. Head down inside the 30. And he'll finally get tackled by Brandon Boyd at about the 27-yard line. There's a flag down, though, back at the 34. So a portion of this gain may be coming back. through 3 quarters. Total offense, 317 for Nordonia, 268 for Benedictine. And that indeed is going to be holding against Nordonia. But again, it's from the 34, so it'll pretty much actually be, it was 10 yards from the spot. The spot was the original line of scrimmage at the 44. Mark Wilson, 16 of 25 passing, 154 yards and a touchdown. Brian Russ and Zach Zender have both run the ball well tonight. So it's back to 1st and 10. Zender again, almost the same play. Not quite as good of a result, but he gets the first down inside the 35 and dives ahead to the 31-yard line. Russ, before that carry, 13 carries for 89 yards. Zender, 15 carries, 77 yards. They each have touchdowns. Dwayne Jackson for Benedictine, 13 carries, 122, and 2 touchdowns. Zender this time to the left, inside the 30, and gets cut down at about the 28-yard line. James Phillips amongst those on the stop. Yes, the aforementioned Tyler Carey. See, Tyler always comes through. St. Edward leading Hoban in the 3rd quarter, 21-10. Stowe on top of Hudson now in the 4th quarter, 22-21. It's a 2nd and 7 for Nordonia. Zender the carry again to the 25, and he'll plunge forward near the first down. He needed the 21 for the first down, and they'll mark him at the 20. That's another first down for the Knights. Walsh leading St. Vincent St. Mary 21-7 in the 3rd. Riverside over South 14-7 in the 3rd quarter. That would be a big loss for the Rebels. Ball at the 20, a first down. Give is to Russ. Again, up the gut, and this time after a yard or so, he'll get pushed back near the 18. It's Barberton over Talmadge, 28-14 in the 3rd quarter. Bedford leading Maple Heights 30-6, 3rd quarter score. Bay over Lakewood, 14-13, 4th quarter. Olmsted Falls leading Berea Mid-Park, 42-27. That is in the 3rd quarter. This time Wilson with a keeper. He's got room inside the 15. He'll take it down near the 10-yard line. Now, Mark Wilson has done a good job as a running quarterback tonight. And every time he's done keepers, they've been successful. Mark it inside the 10 at the 9, and it's 1st and goal for the Knights trying to retake the lead. Russ goes behind Wilson in the pistol. 1st and goal from the 9. Brian Russ will get the carry. Shifts to the right and brought down right at the 9-yard line. James Phillips with a good one-on-one tackle. Brunswick leading Strongsville 30-14 in the 3rd quarter. In the GLC Championship, it's Rocky River on top of Buckeye 20-12. Cavaliers now trailing the Hornets 112-99 in the 4th quarter. 2nd and goal. Russ gets the carry again, bounces inside at the 5, and it'll be pulled down at about the 4-yard line. It will be 3rd and goal from there. 8:15 on the turning clock to go in the 4th quarter. Nordonia taking precious time off the clock on this drive and trying to punch it in for the go-ahead score. And we've got a whistle and a stoppage. Not exactly sure why. Now we're ready to go. Russ stands behind Wilson from the 4. Russ gets the carry. He'll shift left and then put down at the 3 to set up a 4th and goal. And Kareem Jennings back in there helped to stop that play. Now, the book would say go for the field goal because, well, you're down in this area. And that's what they're going to do. Lastovka's 2 field goal attempts have missed tonight, but this is considerably shorter, more or less like an extra point. Wilson will put it down at about the 11, so it's going to be a 21-yard attempt. Lastovka, 9 of 12 this year in field goal attempts. High snap goes over Wilson's head. Picked up by Lastovka back at the 30. He'll run to the 20. Pop pass. It is caught. Did it get into the end zone? No. In, out of bounds at the 2. What a pop pass, though, by Andrew Lastovka. It was caught by Mason Atha at about the 3-yard line. Now, where are they going to mark this thing? Because remember, it was a to-goal situation. But, A for effort for Andrew Listowka. And this is going to be marked essentially where the line of scrimmage had been before the field. Well, no, they're going to move it at the 1 yard line. So the bad news for Nordonia, that bad snap causes them to not be able to execute a field goal for the third time tonight. The good news is, though, because of the effort of Listowka and Atha, the ball is spotted at the 1 yard line. And I think the official scorer, their staff people, are trying to figure out kind of what happened there and how to score said play. I mean, it would literally be, I think, a 2 yard pass, essentially, if you're counting that as a completion, even though Listowka threw it from about the 20 yard line. I think the officials, meanwhile, are trying to figure out where this drive should start. Initially, they looked like they were going to start it at the 3, and then they spotted it at the 1. And now they're going to need the entire, and Jeff Fox, meanwhile, is trying to plead his case to the official that it should be, I'm sure saying it should be a touchdown. And we don't have the benefit of instant replay to be able to tell you, yes, he's right, or no, he's not right. There is instant replay, however, though, to the booth to my right. And, of course, the officials can't utilize that, but, we can certainly see that. Probably, did I hear somebody saying it should be at the 2, maybe? Well, it would be pretty much par for the course there. Now, the officials, let's see, I think they're going to hold the ball at the 1 and say start there. 1st and 10 Benedictine at their own 1 yard line. Wow. Well, again, give a ton of credit to Listowka. That's a heck of a play. It was almost a touchdown. Yarbrough from the end zone will give to Jackson. Oh, good second effort to get out of the end zone and take it to about the 2. When it looked like Jackson was going to get brought down potentially in the end zone. Tyler Carey just let me know that Kirtland, a couple of scores here actually. Kirtland has beaten Orange tonight 41-7. That is the 50th win in a row for Tiger Laverty's Hornets. More on that in a second. Again, a running play, and again, I believe it's Jackson, maybe to the 3. That victory tonight for the Hornets, their 50th in a row. It's now the 3rd longest in Ohio history, and it remains the longest in the country active streak. Bay, by the way, did beat Lakewood 14-13. The Rangers failed to get a 2-point conversion with 9 seconds to play. And that St. Edward Hoban game now in the 4th, 21-10 Eagles. Well, it's 3rd down, and we'll call it a long 8. Yarbrough from the end zone to throw. Looking, airs it out for Boyd. He's open, overshot him at the 50-yard line. Boyd really got out of the blocks there, and Yarbrough hung it up for him to run under, just couldn't quite get there. And Christian Cora is going to have to punt from the back of his own end zone. Russ and I believe Petit were back on the coverage. But what just a crazy couple of moments there back and forth of what could have been and what didn't happen. But now Cora's going to have to punt from the end zone here. And I think this is Tufts in single safety. It is at the Benedictine 38. Good job by Cora to get himself out of traffic. Tufts with the fair catch at the 32 of Benedictine. I got to tell you, Christian Cora was in heavy traffic. Just to get himself space to punt the football was a fine effort. So final, Stowe beats Hudson tonight 22-21. Teddy Gregory with the game-winning touchdown run with 49 seconds to go. That means the Explorers are out of the contention for the top seed in Region 5. Ball will be marked at the 31. That game obviously had a lot of interest to those here at Nordonia. Nordonia beat Hudson but lost to Stowe. All right, Knights back on offense. 1st and 10, Wilson throws. Zender to the right at the 30. Zach to the 25 and out of bounds near the 21-yard line. Brandon Boyd and James Phillips run him out of bounds. But Zender as a receiver there. And he'll get the first down. Ball will be spotted right at the 20-yard line. Clock a factor. 5:27 to go in the fourth in a 20-all tie here at Nordonia. And before the Knights can run a play, we've got a stoppage and another offsides on Benedictine. That's their 4th of the night. That one looked like more of a neutral zone infraction, but that is 4 times tonight they have been offsides. Ball to the 15 now, and it's 1st and 5 from there. Knights again trying to retake the lead. They got down to the red zone and failed to connect on their last possession. Here comes Zender inside the 20 and put down at the 11-yard line by Kareem Jennings. Gain of 4, 2nd and 1 at the 11. We are now at 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of a tied game here at Nordonia. Pistol formation for the Knights. And now they'll turn up from the snap and look over now and get the play in from the sideline. Give. Zender runs left, 1st down to the 9-yard line, and then couple of Bengals, including Joe McDonald, will pull him back from there. But that will bring up yet another 1st and goal for the Knights. They were just down here a few moments ago, couldn't get a touchdown in their first 3 plays, and then a field goal attempt had the ball go over the hands of Wilson, the holder, and they weren't able to execute a pass from Lastovka to the end zone. But came awfully close. 1st and goal. Zender behind Wilson. Gets the carry. Runs left to the 5. Drags a couple of Bengals to the 4 and put down there. Nice run on 1st down for Zach Zender. It'll be 2nd and goal at the 4-yard line. Under 4 minutes to play. If you're wondering, all timeouts available for both teams. So Benedictine, if they should allow a touchdown here, would have all their timeouts to try to strike back. 2nd and goal from the 4. Ball at the right hash. Nordonia trying to retake the lead here late in this fourth quarter. Again from the pistol. The give is Zender to the right at the 4 and then gets pushed back. Just could not break out of those couple of tacklers down there, including James Phillips and Mike Hatcher. And I think I saw Jennings down there again. 3rd and goal. And I got to tell you, it just, even this, every play feels like it's taking a minute off the clock here. The Knights are doing a great job of milking the clock, but they've got to punch it in here. Jeff Fox is about 4 yards on the field here to get a play in. 3rd and goal, Knights. Ball at the 4. Pitch out. Brian Russ back at the 5. Cuts in. Can't break through, and he's put down at the line of scrimmage. 4th and goal yet again. Timeout taken, Bengals. And Lastovka will come in for another field goal attempt. One of the best kickers in Northeast Ohio has been 0 for 3 tonight due to Benedictine pressure on him on his first 2 attempts. And that 3rd kick was because of a bad snap. It really wasn't even an attempted kick. It was just not able to get it in. So they'll try it again. The good news, though, for Benedictine, they'll still have 2 timeouts and 2.5 minutes to go in this football game. Congratulations to the Rocky River Pirates. They are the Great Lakes Conference champions. They beat Buckeye tonight 23-12 to take the GLC title. Hornets a winner tonight over the Cavaliers, 123-112. Colin Sexton had 33 points. Darius Garland, by the way, did not play tonight for the Cavs. All right, they'll try. Maybe 4th time will be a charm for the Knights in field goal situation. It'll be about what it was the previous time. Wilson putting it down right. Actually, he'll put it down at the 10 here. So this is 20-yard attempt here for the lead for the Knights. Snap good, hold good, kick up, kick good. Knights have the lead with 2:31 to go. 20 yards on that field goal for Andrew Lastopka. And Nordonia back in the lead, 23-20. As we said now, Benedictine with 2 timeouts and their offense, they'll have an opportunity. And we saw this in the season opener against Walsh Jesuit. They, just when you thought that the Bengals were down, they were able to mount something before the end of regulation, force overtime, force double overtime, and then beat Walsh Jesuit to win that opener. We'll see if lightning strikes twice. Well, I'll tell you, Kareem Jennings is not 100%, but he's in there on the kickoff team. Just kind of gutting it out there since he went down in the 3rd quarter. Brandon Boyd will go back deep to receive this kickoff for Lastopka. 23-20, Nordonia in the lead. And Nordonia was kind of set up towards, everybody was towards the left hash, and the coaches wanted them to spread out a little bit more. And Lastopka, kind of a pooch kick. This is going to be returnable. Here's Boyd at the 10. Boyd out to the 20. Boyd to the 25-30. Right side 35 to the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. There's also an injured Knight, but tremendous field position for the Bengals. But the bigger concern right now is the injured Knight. Eric Smith on the tackle and special teams for Nordonia. It's interesting. I'm sure Lastopka was told to do that, but that's not, the idea, I'm sure, is on a kick like that, you have hang time, and it gives your special teams a chance to make a tackle so you can try to pin the opponent inside the 20, but it kind of had the opposite effect, and Boyd was able to get ahead of steam and find a bit of a seam and be able to run to the right and get good yardage. The injured player, Trevon Roden, and he's limping as he comes off the field for the Knights. Riverside beats Willoughby South tonight 14-7. That's a 3rd loss in a row for the Rebels. So that will move them down likely in the Region 5 positioning. We'll check Joe Itel before we get out of here tonight and kind of some of these games maybe get updated. We'll see if we're having any regional updates for you in terms of where the points are. Here we go, though. Benedictine trailing 23-20. They'll go on 1st down. Yarbrough to throw over the middle through the fingertips of Jennings and incomplete. At the 50-yard line with Logan Villamagna on the coverage. And that's one. Yeah, when Kareem will look at the film tomorrow, that's one he should have had. 2nd and 10. Clock stops, 2:18 to play, 4th quarter. Nordonia 23, Benedictine 20. The two most competitive games I think we've had this year, the first game and the last game, both involving Benedictine. Yarbrough to throw on second down, has plenty of time, throws, trying to go to Jennings again, and it's incomplete. And again, Villamagna was on the coverage. That time, unlike the previous pass, Jennings really didn't have much of a chance in traffic to go up to make that catch. 3rd down and 10. 2:12 remaining, fourth quarter. Bengals, remember, have 2 timeouts remaining. Jennings will come out of the game. And the Bengals will bring in an extra wide receiver as Quincy Johnson will check in. And Patterson, all 3 out, wide left. 1 receiver wide right. Jackson in the backfield with Yarbrough. Fake to Jackson. 3rd down, the throw. Patterson had it go in and out of his hands at the 43-yard line. Would have been a first down at the 43 of the Knights. It was kind of thrown a bit behind him, but, I mean, Antonio Patterson has made that catch 1,000 times. That time he couldn't pull it in. 4th and 10, and really right now 4th in the ball game for Benedictine. I mean, that's a first down, and he had some space. So if he keeps his footing, you may have something there. Timeout taken by the Bengals to talk about this 4th and 10 play with 2:07 to go. Also final tonight, it was a struggle, but North Royalton got a win over Brecksville, 15-13. The Bears headed to the playoffs in a non-COVID year for the first time since 2012. Yeah, congrats to Nick Truley and the Bears, picking up right where they left off in that postseason run last year. And they have had a great year. Really, really, happy for that community. Well, it's 4th and 10 out of this timeout. They tried 2 crossing routes to Jennings and then kind of a seam route for Patterson. So let's see what Jarrett Good and the Bengals dial up here for a call on 4th and 10. You can feel the stamping in front of us here. Really 4th in the game for the Bengals. Jackson shifts to the left of Yarbrough. He looks to throw. Fires left side for Boyd. He overshot him. It's incomplete at the 40-yard line. Oh, they had a great call there. Boyd had separation on Henderson, but Yarbrough overshot him, and the Knights will take over with 2:03 to go at the Benedictine 43-yard line. And the Bengals have just 1 timeout remaining. Wow. What a game. Boy, oh boy. I just think about how close Antonio Patterson was to making that catch on that 3rd down play, and would have kept that drive going and would have been a lot different. Knights will go in a triangle to the right. Here's a pitch out to Zender. Patterson will pull him down behind the line of scrimmage back to the 47, and Benedictine will use their final timeout with 1:57 to play. It'll be 2nd down and 14. By the way, if you didn't hear, and I know Tyler Carey's been working feverishly on a lot of things tonight, the Ohio High School Athletic Association announced that VASJ head coach Jeff Rotsky will be suspended for the first 3 games of the postseason due to recruiting violations. So we'll see what the Vikings will do without him in playoff action. VASJ was supposed to play Padua this weekend, that game was canceled. So out of the timeout, 2nd and 14 with 1:57 to play. Benedictine cannot stop the clock anymore. Zender with the carry again to the 41-yard line of the Bengals. James Phillips on the tackle. It's a gain of 6. So it'll be a 3rd down and 8, but more importantly right now for the Knights, chewing clock. We're down to 1:30 to go. Nordonia 23, Benedictine 20. And the Bengals cannot stop the clock. 3rd and 8. Wilson has Zender behind him. In that pistol, that short shotgun. Play clock at 2. Zender will get the carry, runs right, has room, 35 to the 32, and that should be enough for a Knight first down and steal the win, and it will. First down for Zach Zender. That will be the ball game, and the Nordonia Knights are going to wrap up 2021 with a huge victory over Benedictine. As we go under a minute to play, high fives all around on the Knights sideline. It's a big, big win for this football team. As Mark Wilson will go to a knee. And let's see. Yeah, the play clock and the game clock are pretty much synchronized. No, I don't think they have to run another play here. It's about a second and a half. I don't think they have to run another play. That's going to do it. Nordonia will close out 2021. Yeah, I think Jeff Fox might have just said, hey, wait a minute, you don't need to run another play here. Nordonia will finish out the regular season 8-2. Benedictine will close out at 6-2. Both teams likely going to host next week. 3, 2, 1, ball game. Benedictine, after a great start tonight, they fall here at Bolliant Stadium to the Nordonia Knights. 23-20 is your final. Terrific, terrific ball game between these two teams. As good of games we've had all year long. VASJ, by the way, just to finish that thought I had a few moments ago, they're currently number 1 in Region 13. So not having Coach Rotsky for 3 weeks. We'll wait and see how that plays an impact on their fortunes going forward. But here tonight, tremendous game. 23-20 the final. Benedictine led 13-0 on a couple of early touchdown runs by Dwayne Jackson. But I gotta tell you, Nordonia fought back in that late first quarter, but really in the second quarter, took the lead, led 20-13 at half. Benedictine rallied to tie the game, and Nordonia had 2 long sustained drives in the fourth quarter, both culminating in field goal attempts. One that had a snap sail over the head of the holder, Mark Wilson, also the quarterback, and they weren't able to execute a trick pass, although they came very close. But finally, culminating the second of those long drives, Andrew Listofka with a 20-yard field goal, and that's good enough to seal the win for the Knights. 23-20, your final score. What's that? Last score I have here, everybody wants 28-17 Eds over Hoban. That's in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, computer points are going to be up for grabs here. Nordonia could be number 1 in the region. Benedictine could be number 1 in the region. Well, who knows? Who knows? We know. I mean, both those teams. The more important, both these teams are going to be home next week for Week 11. I mean, I think that's the big takeaway. But it's entirely possible that in 2 or 3 weeks we could see this matchup again. between these two teams. And I hope we do. This was fun tonight, and I would imagine that a rematch in a few weeks would be just as entertaining on a neutral field. One of the things to keep in mind about tonight's game, Benedictine got hit with a couple of injuries. Bedingfield was out of action. Conkle was out of action. Jackson missed parts of a couple series, and they kind of had. He had a good drive in that third quarter when they came back and tied the game, but they went away from Dwayne Jackson. Even on that last drive, they tried 3 passes, even though they had 2 timeouts. And I'm not trying to play second guesser to Jarrett Good and company, but the best offensive weapon tonight for me, for Benedictine, was Dwayne Jackson, and they kind of went away from him there in that last sequence. They tried a couple passes to Kareem Jennings, and then on 3rd down and 10, they went to Antonio Patterson, who was wide open and could not pull in the football, what would have been a 1st down catch, to keep that drive going. And the Bengals ended up turning over on downs, and that more or less was the ball game. So both teams will take a knee, and we'll start to kind of wrap this one up here. I'm just waiting to see if the guys bring me out final stats here, because we deserve final stats after this one. Also, just checking on any late score updates that pop in. But that big one that Tyler just told me about, St. Edward leading Hoban 28-17 late in the 4th quarter. So, and Tyler and I talked about this on Wednesday. Really thought that, despite the fact that St. Edward lost last week to Moeller, getting to come right back and having to play a quality opponent, a high-quality opponent, let's be honest, a high-quality opponent like Hoban, was going to be good for the Eagles, and, maybe to get them back on the right track. And it would be a good test for Hoban. I mean, give Tim Terrell a lot of credit. I mean, he has his team play everybody. I mean, Bishop, Sycamore to everybody else. But, you think about it, it's, St. Ignatius, St. Edward. I mean, everybody. They have the rivalry game with St. Vincent, St. Mary. Hoban takes on everybody. And I think it's going to make that team a very, very tough out when we get into the playoffs, no matter who they have to come up against in Region 5. And then you think about if they have to play Region 6. Oh, thank you. I knew this was coming. Your final stats for tonight's game. The total offense, Nordonia 404. They ran 84 plays compared to 47 for Benedictine. The Knights led the time of possession 27 minutes to 17 minutes, with seconds, of course, with the special teams not counting. Penalties tonight I thought were big. 7 penalties tonight for Benedictine for 42 yards. The 2 interceptions in the first half really hurt the Bengals as well. Conversions tonight, Nordonia 6 of 16 on 3rd down, 1 of 4 on 4th down. Benedictine 0 of 1 on 4th down, 2 of 9 on 3rd down. Individually tonight, Zach Zender and Brian Russ, the 2-headed combination. Zender, 26 carries for 134 yards and a touchdown. Russ, 18 carries, 96 yards and a touchdown. So put them together, 230 yards rushing on 44 carries and 2 touchdowns. We came in, again, looking at Nordonia. They don't have a tight end. They go with a lot of 4 wide receiver sets and things like that. So you think, well, they're a passing team. And, Mark Wilson did a nice job throwing the ball tonight, 17 of 26 for 165 yards and a touchdown. But the Knights tonight were a running team. And I thought that was as big as anything else. The Knights were a running team. And, Wilson took 5 sacks tonight. So that kind of took the rushing totals back. But Mark Wilson as a runner tonight, I thought was very effective. When Jeff Fox called for him to run the ball on a few keepers, it had Benedictine off balance. They weren't expecting it, and I thought that was as big as anything else. When you talk about the rushing tonight of the Knights. Cooper Rusk, now the single-season all-time receptions leader for the Knights. He had 6 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown. For Benedictine, Dwayne Jackson was terrific, especially early in the game. 15 carries for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 8 yards per carry tonight. Just another tough night for C.J. Yarbrough. He had a tough game last week against Hoban. He was 9 of 21 for 166 yards. Tonight he was 9 of 25 for 110 yards. Had a touchdown pass, but he was also intercepted twice. Now, to be fair, some of those missed attempts were drop passes. You know, take that for what it is. Marvin Conkle was the leading receiver tonight, and he only played about half the game. He left the game with an injury in the second quarter. He had 3 catches for 44 yards. Brandon Boyd, 3 for 39, and a spectacular 30-yard touchdown catch in the third quarter. Antonio Patterson, 2 catches, 13 yards, and Dwayne Jackson, 1 catch for 14 yards. Final, here are your final numbers here, and when you add it all up, it's a 23-20 Nordonia win over Benedictine. A couple of scores from the Suburban League. Highland, a winner over Copley tonight, 42-21. Barberton held off Talmadge. It's a gritty effort tonight for Talmadge, but the Magics get the win, 34-28. That means Highland will clinch the top seed in Region 6. However, be prepared, Highland. At some point, you may have to run into Avon. Highland and Avon have played several times, and they've had some good, memorable playoff matchups. I think their last one wasn't quite as memorable, but that might be something to watch when we get into the teeth of Region 6. Because I thought Avon kind of set themselves up for success with a win a couple weeks ago against Berea Mid-Park. Your final tonight, it is the final for sure. St. Edward beat Hoban 28-17. So Benedictine, the number 1 seed coming in Region 5, they lose obviously in the game we just had. The Knights of Hoban, the 2 seed, they also lose tonight. So it is possible, depending on how things shape out, that we could see Nordonia leapfrog both the teams from 3-1 in Region 5. But the Knights are going to be here at Bullion Stadium next week, and that's where they want to be, and that's the most important thing. And they're going to be doing so feeling really good about the way they played tonight in this home game against Benedictine. All right, that's going to do it for me. I think my voice is starting to shut down after that game. That was a lot of fun tonight, folks. A great way to cap off our regular season and sets us up for what will be, I'm sure, a memorable late October, one more weekend in October, but a November to remember with high school football in Northeast Ohio as we head towards Canton and the state championships. We remind you, the WKYC High School Football Game of the Week has been presented by Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is home of the original chicken sandwich. Stop by your neighborhood Chick-fil-A in Cleveland, Akron, Canton, and all across Northeast Ohio. So that was here. Put an exclamation point on the 2021 regular season. My thanks to Rob Eckenrode and the great people at Nordonia. I would imagine at some point we'll see the Knights again, and perhaps the Knights and Bengals again in a few weeks when we get into the teeth of the postseason, and I hope we do, because it would be a fun rematch. All right, that'll do it from here from Bullion Stadium. Again, your final. The Nordonia Knights 23 and the Benedictine Bengals 20. For Tyler Carey and everyone involved in our WKYC Game of the Week, I'm Dave DiNatale. Thanks for listening, and good night from Nordonia.